So it's on to the first group of the qualifying rounds for this year's World's Strongest Man. And down at Nangzhou Park for the traditional opening event is our commentary team of Bill Kazmaier, 3 times the World's Strongest Man himself, Colin Bryce, and first of all, Nick Halling.
Yes, thanks, John. 5 fellas at the start line. Big fellas, all nervous as kittens at the moment, and they don't come any bigger than this. Dominic Filiou at 402 pounds, the biggest man in the tournament. And alongside him, Mick Gosling, the boat builder from Wolverhampton. Britain's strongest man. He's looking a bit anxious as well, isn't he? And here in lane 3, Raivis Vidzis. The little Latvian, only 5 foot 8 inches tall, but packing a lot of beef into that diminutive frame. Another East European alongside him, Jarek Dymek of Poland, 5 foot 9, and a solid 275. And rounding out the quintet in this Group 1 is the American Josh Thigpen from Texas. Looking very cocky and confident, isn't he?
There's 3 parts to this contest. The first 10 meters you have to carry the 100-kilo anchor, link it up to the chain, then drag that 660-pound anchor all the way over the 20-meter line, sprint back, and then you have to pick up that 225-kilo duck walk.
And that's the bit that really does separate the men from the boys. Anyway, they're off and they're up and running. Thigpen, the American nearest to us, has made a solid start. On the far side, Filiou's going well, and Mick Gosling's very much in the thick of things as well.
Well, you think body weight would help here. Filiou's 400-pound frame dragging that chain and anchor. But I tell you what, it's Thigpen who's in the lead at the moment.
It certainly is. It's a North America 1-2. Thigpen's got the lead, but there goes big Dominic Filiou trundling down the track. Now this really will sort them out. That 495-pound weight. And it's so wide, Colin. That's the problem these fellas are going to have.
Well, Thigpen's 6'5" there, and he can't even stand up with it without it bumping into his thighs. 20 meters, it certainly looks a very long distance at the moment.
Now, look at this. It's Vidzis that's getting through. Mick Gosling's having a tough time. Vidzis is going very well, though, right in the middle. Lane 3, the Latvian doing very well. And he's got a good lead here. Thigpen seems to be running out of steam. Big Dominic Filiou's in trouble, and Mick Gosling just cannot get this thing going.
Well, I guess you can't use the excuse of height here. Raivis Vidzis, the shortest man in the competition, now in the lead. And I guess this is all about his lower back strength. A great power lifter from the past.
Well, Thigpen's still in second, but Dymek is closing on him, and Filiou's having a go in lane 1, but it's all over. And there is one happy man, Raivis Vidzis from Latvia.
Well, it was the speed of youth and Thigpen who managed to get to the turn the quickest, but it's the fitness of Raivis Vidzis. He's done his homework better than anybody else who took the lead.
And Bill Kazmaier is with our winner.
Raivis, first time at the World's Strongest Man. Great start. Tell us about it.
I feel very tired because before competition I'm nervous. And because it's a very important competition for all athletes.
Well, 500 pounds in your hands going back. What about the pain?
For pain, no time, because you only work and your mind is gone and your body work 100%.
Well, nice job.
Thank you.
So an impressive start for the man from Latvia, winning that by well over 3 meters, in fact. But for Mick Gosling, a disappointing start in his bid to get through to the final. Well, as you can tell from that first race, there's a lot of familiar faces, but a lot of new faces too in this year's World's Strongest Man. And amongst the new faces for British viewers is our expert summariser this year, a man who won this competition 3 years in a row, and the last American to lift the title, Bill Kazmaier. You've been coming to this event for more than a quarter of a century now as competitor and analyst. Have you ever known a country just embrace an event quite like this? Extraordinary, isn't it?
It is, John. I really haven't seen a country that'll get behind the event like this, donating not only the properties, but also the resources to make it just an awesome event.
And what about the overall quality of the competitors this year?
It's truly incredible. Of course, we've got Mariusz and all the top poles, but we've got many new Americans, and the quality of competition is truly the best ever.
And you mentioned the Americans. It's, what, 23 years since you last won it. So realistically, what chance do you think the Americans have got this year?
I think a pretty good one. Jesse Marunde looks awesome. Don Pope is great too. Dave Ostlund is really one of the best that we've got from America.
This is the format, very similar to previous years. 5 groups of 5 athletes. Each athlete competes in 6 disciplines, the top 2 going through to the final. And these are the first 5 competitors.
Dominic Filiou, Canada.
Raivis Vidzis, Latvia.
Mick Gosling, England.
Jarek Dymek, Poland.
Josh Thigpen, USA.
And after the break, one of the oldest tests of strength for our first 5 athletes, the deadlift. Don't go away.
Welcome back to World's Strongest Man in Chengdu, China.
And here we go with the deadlift. 7 beer barrels. And it's not beer they're lifting, it's a lot of weight.
It's going to be 7 lifts in total. First one without any of the extra barrels put in, but each of the good lifts, a barrel will fall in, and it gets up to a maximum weight here, 345 kilos.
Well, most of us, of course, can't manage anything heavier than a pint down the local pub, but these fellas are going to do a lot more than that. And first up is the Canadian Dominic Filiou.
Down. Lift.
And here come the barrels, and these weights will just start to rise.
Down. Good lift.
Maximum of 7 lifts in the shortest possible time, and listen to that crowd giving Filiou every encouragement.
Good lift. What is truly amazing here is that this man's only been weightlifting for a couple of years, and this has to be considered an exercise which suits the more experienced men, those that have really put the hours in the gym.
He struggled on that last one, Colin. How's he going to do with this extra one? And it really is looking difficult for him. I don't know if he's going to make it. Oh, what a great effort.
Good lift. Just managed to jack it up there, didn't he? He has to get the hips through to call it a good lift.
I don't think he's going to make this one, but I didn't think he was going to make the last one. But surely this one is beyond him. He really struggled on that 4th one.
Well, you can see the pressure there. Actually, blood coming from his head where there's some blood capillaries have burst. That just shows you how brutal and how much pressure there is in this kind of event. Jacking it up the legs there, that has got to hurt.
Well, I've heard of giving blood, but that's ridiculous. Dr. Richard Smith on clean-up duty. And next up, Mick Gosling, Britain's strongest man. Let's hear from him.
It's an amazing place. We had a walk around the city last night, and everyone was looking at me like, you know, I was just a freak. It was a good experience, but everywhere you went, they're just looking at you. Obviously, you're not taller than everybody else, but it's just an experience to be here in the first place. Never mind being the world's strongest man. Britain's strongest man, I trained for 6 weeks for it. It was unbelievable. It was a good experience. It was one day I never thought I'd win, and at the end of the day I did it, and nobody could ever take that away from me. It's just great to be part of something that you know, you like say when you was a kid you watched on the telly, to do some of the things that they've done in the past. Perhaps I'll never win world's strongest man, but at the end of the day it's just been nice here, nice to compete. I did reasonably well. I know what I need to do to get to the final, and it's going to be tough. Every group's hard, so we just try your best and see what you do.
You ready?
And after coming 5th in the medley, Mick Gosling really needs a big performance in the deadlift. And that's a confident start, but the serious business is yet to come. Well, the first one's good. And he's looking very focused, isn't he, Colin?
Barrel 3, that's 265 kilos. Easy for him, but it's the accumulative weight as it starts to gather that really hurts the lower back.
This is the one Filiou had some trouble with. And Mick Gosling had a couple of problems as well, it seemed. Now, can he go one better than the Canadian? No. He was always struggling with the earlier one, and you thought that's as far as it's going to go. But nevertheless, very generous applause from a crowd that really is appreciating the efforts of these big fellas.
Well, he's got great hamstring strength there, but you can see the lower back rounding out. One of the best in Britain, but struggling here at the world level.
Jarek Dymek. The pole is next up at the deadlift.
Lift. Down. Good lift.
Good lift, as you can hear, but now the serious business starts. And just like the two men that went before him, that first one is no problem, the second one is no problem. That was a very confident looking lift. Now how does he get on with this one? This is the one where the strain really starts to show, and that looked very confident.
Well, training with Mariusz Pudzianowski, the 2-times world's strongest man, must help. But the big question is, how is that injured, torn bicep from earlier in the year handling it?
Well, so far so good, Colin. This is rep 6 and he's walked through that as well, and if he can do one more, he is going to complete all 7. Can he do it? It's on its way, it's looking good. What an effort from Jarek Dymek. And he's saying, give me more.
Well, a virtuoso performance there from the veteran Polishman. I'm amazed just how impressive he was after coming back from that horrific injury.
Tremendous performance from Jarek Dymek. He's with Bilkhausmeyer now.
Jarek, you made all 7 lifts look easy. Was it that easy?
No, I like that lift, and I think that I can lift 1 bar, maybe 2 more. But we'll see what happened after, because 2 guys will be lifted after me.
Josh Thigpen, second in the medley. The man from Pasadena, Texas. Not to be confused with Pasadena, California.
Down. Looking at him, you wouldn't assume he's a good deadlifter. Very tall. He's to lift it a lot further than someone like Dymek, who's well under 6 foot.
Rep 3. That's where the strain has started to show for 1 or 2 of the others, and I think it'll go slow here for Thigpen as well, but he's done a very solid 4th rep as well. Now this to take him into 2nd place. And he's slowing, but he's still moving, and he's got it. Hear the encouragement, but no, he knows when he's beaten, and that's as far as it goes. But nevertheless, 5 reps for Josh Thigpen. He'll be very pleased with that, and he knew that he was beaten.
With just great determination from Thigpen, knows that this is his big opportunity. When you're an American, you don't get to come to World's Strongest Man that easily, so this is his big chance, and he's grabbed it.
Now can Raivis Vidzis build on that 1st place in the medley? There's 1 or 2 very interested spectators here, aren't there? Can Vidzis keep his momentum going? There's the first lift.
He's stepping out of the shadow of the great weightlifter Raivis Vidzis, who competed at World's Strongest Man for so many years from Latvia. So I imagine the pressure is on him big time here, because this was Vidzis' greatest event.
Well, the little 5'8" Latvian has got through 4 reps without too much difficulty, and he's through 5 as well. This will catapult him for sure in 2nd place, and I don't think he's even going to look at it. No, he says, just like Josh Thigpen, he says that's enough. So it's maximum points for Jarek Dymek.
Dymek is one of the seasoned campaigners taking part in this year's World's Strongest Man, and that's a good win for him by some considerable margin. It's an East European monopoly at the top, but for Mick Gosling, 2 events gone, and he's come bottom in both. So while it's tight at the top of the leaderboard, Mick Gosling is bringing up the rear with just 2, and he needs to start making a move soon. Next up, it's this. So it's back to Century City for the Hercules hold. Here's Nick again.
There's simply no hiding place when the Pillars of Hercules come along. They will test you. They will test how much strength, how much resolve, how much desire you have. And the first man to test himself in this most brutal event is Raivis Vidzis.
Are you ready? Take the strain.
And off we go. And it really is just a question now of Raivis Vidzis against himself and these 2 pillars. How long can he hold them? He's looking comfortable so far. You will see the strain in his eyes, though, I'm sure.
There's almost a feeling here that you're doing damage to yourself. You can feel your shoulder joints popping out and your skin tearing in your hands. It's around about 180 kilos in each hand.
Yes, there comes the furrowed brow. And a little grimace there. It's starting to hurt, Vidzis, yes, just like that. As strong as these fellas are, they cannot hide it in their faces when they're struggling, and Vidzis was starting to feel that after about 15 seconds.
Well, this is where the lactic acid is just kicking in. It's a real mind-over-matter sport, but it just unpeeled his fingers. He tried his best, but couldn't hang on any longer.
Dominic Filiou, the big fella. And you just wonder if that additional weight is going to give him an advantage here as we come to the pillars.
Are you ready? Say yes. Yes. Take the strain.
And off we go.
Former world's strongest man in the back there, Jukka Ahola and his crew, and it takes 4 guys just to raise up these enormous pillars.
Well, he didn't look too happy from the first few seconds, Filiou, and he's got to hold those pillars for a while yet, and I think he's struggling, Colin. I think he's feeling this.
Oh, the wobble is on, isn't it? It's not an event he enjoys. Got giant hands like a bunch of bananas, but that doesn't always count for grip strength.
But he's hung on brilliantly. He's gone past the Latvian, and I didn't think he was going to get that far. 33.03. So Filiou takes the lead, but that hurt.
Well, you can see he was flinching from early on there, but amazing finger strength to hang on just to the edges of his fingers as it pulled out for a good 10 seconds there. He just handled it.
Now, Mick Gosling has really struggled so far.
Are you ready?
Can he come up with a, excuse the pun, Herculean effort here? Mick really needs a big one in here with the pillars. It's a steady start. Look at that focus. He's looking very good through the first 10 seconds.
One thing you have to say about both of the Gosling brothers is they are incredibly tough men. Very hard, perhaps haven't had as much time to train for this competition as a Gosling brother would have liked, but he's so tough mentally.
Look at that balance. Through 27 seconds, and he hasn't flinched. 30 seconds. Another couple of seconds and he'll be in the lead, and he has taken the lead, and he's looking very good. Now, how much further can Mick push this? The look on his face hasn't changed. 43.42. Very solid performance from Mick Gosling. At last, he's showing us what he's capable of.
Well, I actually thought he might hang on a little bit longer there, but the left hand just started to slip, and it pulled away. Not enough chalk, perhaps.
Mick, you said before this was the first time you were going to do this event. A 43.44. That's a good time.
Yeah, reasonable. I expected a lot better, I got to admit. Left started going, you know, what do? You try and grip as much as you can. It came undone, so what?
Well, it puts you in first place at the moment. You got to be happy with that.
I am at the moment, but I personally think it'll be second. But at least I got some points this time.
Let's hope it holds. Keep it up.
Okay, thank you.
So Mick Gosling with a 43.42. I'm not sure if Bill Kazmaier can understand that black country accent, but he'll certainly understand a Texas accent. So he'll know all about Josh Thigpen, the young American, in his first World's Strongest Man. Has made a very solid start. Now, can he knock Mick Gosling off top spot?
Are you ready? Yep. Take the strain.
He's off and running. That very wide stance. The balance so important. The eyes focused, looking ahead, but already you can see he's starting to feel this, and those pillars are wobbling, and Josh has really got to dig in here.
You can see the left hand has already flinched and tried to re-grip. I can't imagine he can hang on long after a re-grip with that weight.
Well, somehow he's regrouped. It looked like he was going to go really early. As it is, he's hung on for 27.75. And looks very disappointed with himself.
Well, he is a real student of the sport. This was his life's ambition, to make it here to World's Strongest Man, and to lose points so badly early on is a big problem.
Josh, obviously you're disappointed. Tell me what happened out there.
I don't know. I never had the right grip from the start. I bent my legs, and I felt the pillar start to move on me. And when I stood up straight, I finally got my right grip. So obviously you shouldn't bend your legs. That was pathetic. That was about as bad as it can get. That was probably put me in last place, and it's definitely not going to help my standings. So I got a lot of work cut out for me.
Well, 3 events to go. Can you make this up?
I have to. I will.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And last, but by no means least, the Pole, Jarek Dymek.
Because the sport is very popular in Poland, we are like a movie star. The people love us. We feel like a god. It's the best feeling. February, I'm broken my biceps, but it's nothing because I'm strong man. I like pain. If I feel the pain, I feel that I'm strong. I come here 4 times because I want to compete with the best guys on the world. I'm stronger every year. I think that I have big chance and I want to win. If I win, I will be very happy man.
A man who enjoys pain. Well, he's in the right place then, isn't he? Because he's going to feel pain for the next 30 seconds or so, or maybe even longer. Can he knock Mick Gosling off top spot?
And his former PE teacher, who's now taken up professional strongman full-time, is making a great living out of it. He's a real star back in Poland, as he says. And one of the reasons why is he's ice cool when it comes to events like this. He will hang on no matter what.
You see that injured bicep. And it's the lack of movement that's impressing you, but there was just a hint of a wobble there on that right arm, but he's cracked 30 and he's closing in on Mick Gosling, but now it's really starting to hurt. And he hasn't made it. It's amazing how quickly you run out of energy in this one, and Mick Gosling allows himself a little smile. He's taken the Hercules hold.
So Mick Gosling was unduly pessimistic at the outset. His time of 43.42, good enough to see off the rest and give him maximum points.
Mick, you were a bit disappointed in that 43 seconds, but you won it.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought Jarek was going to beat my time, I got to admit, and Josh as well. But obviously, I wanted to get over a minute, but to win it with 43, you know, win an event in World's Strongest Man. I'm pleased with that.
And he's got to be pleased too with the way the scoreboard looks now, because Gosling is back in contention, just 5 points off the lead, still held by Jarek Dymek of Poland with 12.
Things you never knew about China, number 1. There are more people learning English in China at the moment than the entire population of the United States of America.
Now we've got a real feast coming up here. Let's start, I think, with the crab, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes' time.
Hi, I'm Dominic Filiou, and welcome back to World's Strongest Man.
Yes, welcome back to Chengdu, China's 4th largest city, and this is one of its thriving districts, Jinli, with its bustling market. If crab isn't what you're after, the food area here will provide you with any kind of Chinese delicacy. And let's look back at what's happened so far. In the medley event, it was Josh Thigpen from America that made all the early running, but Raivis Vidzis of Latvia lasted the pace, and he was eventually the winner. Onto the deadlift now, and Canada's Dominic Filiou managed 5 reps, which was then equalled by Thigpen and Vidzis, but the Polish veteran Jarek Dymek overwhelmed the field, lifting all 7 barrels with ease. And then in the Hercules hold, Filiou managed to hold the 353-pound pillars for just over 33 seconds. Dymek managed 38, but it was our own Mick Gosling who held on for 43.42 seconds and won his first event at World's Strongest Man. Which means at the halfway point, any one of our 5 athletes can make it through to the final. Don't forget, the top 2 will qualify, and there's just 5 points separating the field at this stage. Back to the action, and Nick.
5 fingers, the Fingal fingers, waiting 2 East Europeans. Raivis Vidzis, and right alongside him, his closest rival in the standings, Jarek Dymek, the Pole. And these 2 fellas just casting a little glance at each other. Dymek now focuses on the task in hand, and it's a daunting task indeed. These fingers have broken many.
5 fingers, 75 seconds in which to flip them. The top weight, 660 pounds, 300 kilos.
And it'll be interesting to see if either of these fellas can get to that 5th finger. They always seem to start well, but the third finger tends to be the one that really slows them down, and it's a bit of a race here already. They both got off neck and neck, and the second finger's gone very easily as well. This is encouraging stuff. The Pole's just got his nose in front, but here comes Vidzis, and they are slowing a little bit. Still Dymek just in the lead, but it's almost neck and neck. Vidzis is right there too. Now the fourth one, this will test them.
An amazing power from Jarek Dymek there. It seems to catch a sticking point right at the 45-degree mark, and I have to say, anyone who does 5 is really world-class. We won't see many of those today.
We're going to see one right here, though. Look at that, Jarek Dymek. 39.50. What a time, what a performance. Vidzis is stuck in the mud. He's got through 4, though. That's no mean achievement either. 4 probably will be good for second place.
Well, the amazing thing here is Dymek isn't a tall man. This tends to suit the very long-armed guys, but blasting through with incredible leg power. 5 in under 40 seconds is truly amazing.
Dominic Filiou up next, and he gets the advantage, or could it be a disadvantage, of going on his own? Well, some guys would sooner have someone to compete against, others are happy in their own little world. Filiou certainly started out fast.
That is well ahead of the pace that Jarek Dymek and Vidzis set, and someone this tall has to have every opportunity of doing all 5.
He's absolutely blasted through the third one, and now we're at 20 seconds and he's on course. He's definitely on course, this fourth one. He's making short shrift of that. Well, there's certainly no problem for Filiou working on his own. Look at this, he's at the 5th already.
There's not many competitors who are almost as heavy as the fingers themselves. Look at him pushing his body weight against it.
Absolutely sensational.
39.17 seconds. That is a phenomenal time from Filiou. I tell you what, this is turning out to be an incredible heat.
It really is. 2 completions out of 3 competitors. Filiou the latest.
Dominic, all 5 fingers in the second fastest time ever in World's Strongest Man. That's got to make you happy.
It makes me very happy. I'm surprised. For me, it was kind of easy, the event.
You've been battling a leg injury. You want to tell us about it and how it affected the event?
Well, my ligaments are damaged a little bit, but it didn't affect me because I got it wrapped pretty good. So I'm fine with that.
Do you think this performance will be good enough to take you through to the final?
I hope so. There's still 2 more events that I'm good at, so I'm staying positive.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
Well, from one giant in China to another. Just 6 miles away from the center of Chengdu is the Panda Research and Breeding Base. The eco-park is home to the largest artificially bred giant panda population in the world. Here the giant panda has an environment that's ideally suited to its development, and the institute is dedicated to protecting and increasing the population. In total now, there are fewer than 1,000 pandas anywhere in the world, and 80% of them are in this area. There aren't too many pandas in Poland.
My heart was always with strongman. When I was younger, I saw it on TV, and I saw Bill Kazmaier, and you gotta love the Kaz. I mean, he's the hero. He was just so intense, and so I said when I was 12 years old that I'm gonna be on World's Strongest Man someday, and you know, here I am. Obviously, other sports are easier, but it's something you can't explain unless you're a strongman and you know why you like to pick up stones. It's kind of primitive. You just feel good, you know, looking at something and say, hey, I'm going to pick that up. I'm able to go in and compete against the international guys. That's where the top dogs are anyway. A lot of guys just come out and say, I just want to make the final. That doesn't make sense to me. Why show up? Why compete? You're never going to win if you have that mentality. There's a lot of good guys here, but anybody can be beaten, and I'm going to give it my best to go out and win the whole thing.
Thigpen will have to go up now against Mick Gosling in the third and final heat. In the fingers, we've seen 2 complete sets done already. That in itself, absolutely sensational. And both these 2 fellas need points if they're going to challenge for a place in the top 2. And the bar has been set very high. These fellas have got to think in terms of all 5. and then worry about the time after that. Solid start from both. Now the American is starting to motor. He's moved ahead of Mick Gosling, has he? Just about neck and neck.
Gosling slightly hurting after the deadlift on his lower back, but must take solace in that great result from the last event.
And he's pushed himself in front here as well, as Thigpen has slowed on that third one. But Mick on the far side is really feeling the heat with this fourth one, and Thigpen's got his motor moving again. Mick's in trouble. The American does 4. Can he go for 5? And I think Mick Gosling is finished, and I wonder if it's that back.
Very disappointing for him as well, because he did so well at this event a few years ago at Britain's Strongest Man.
Well, while we speculate on Mick Gosling, meanwhile, Thigpen here is going for all 5, and he's got a chance. He's got a very good chance. Never mind the time, this is going to be good for third place, and what a tremendous achievement to knock all 5 over. He does it in 1:03.08, and he can celebrate. Not good enough for a top 2 spot, and as for Mick Gosling, well, let's just hope he's okay.
Gosling there, the pressure just getting too much to that 45-degree angle, but I have to say for Thigpen, unlucky to be in such a tough heat.
Meanwhile, Bill Kazmaier is with Mick Gosling.
Mick, you're in the lead on number 3. Number 4, you seem to pull up a little bit. Tell us about it.
I hurt myself. A big sharp pain right on my right side. I've been having lots of physio on it. I thought I'd do one and I'd just leave it at that, but it felt all right till I got the second one, third one, fourth. It's not just, I didn't want to carry on.
So disappointed with Mick Gosling that, and finishing bottom there really does mean he's going to find it tough to qualify now. A good victory for the big Canadian though, Filiou, and that puts him right in contention with Dymek at the top on 16 points. At this stage you would say it's any one of the top 4 to make it through to the final, but Mick Gosling's in real trouble. Well, the next event for this year's World's Strongest Man relocates us to the busy downtown shopping district. In just a moment we're going to see the overhead log lift, where the athletes are going to go head-to-head against each other for the first time in this competition. But first of all, let's check on Mick Gosling's injury, which is threatening his chances of making it to the final.
Here in the medical area with Dr. Richard Rico Smith. I understand you've got some unfortunate news about Mick Gosling. Would you share that with the public?
Yeah, during the deadlift he injured his back. Appeared to be getting better, but this morning he woke up, it was stiff. Getting out of the bus this morning he got a shooting pain down his leg, and examining him it appears he's herniated a disc in his back, which is now pressing upon a nerve, causing pain and weakness in his leg, and he can't continue.
So obviously bitterly disappointing for the man from the Midlands.
Mick, you just came back from the doctor with a diagnosis of herniated disc, and he's recommended that you pull out of the competition. Just how did that happen?
The deadlift. It's they try to probably do more than they can possibly do, and it's just started from there, and other events have just made it worse and worse.
You must be extremely disappointed to have to pull out now.
I am disappointed. I have worked hard at all the events, with people training at home, and just to be pulled out, it's not a good thing, but what can you do? It's not good carrying on to make it worse.
After 5 or 6 months, what memories and experiences are you going to take back from Chengdu here at World's Strongest Man competition?
Just being here, a part of it is a big thing. Obviously doing well at one of the events as well is more of a bonus. It's winning at any event in World's Strongest Man is a big thing. It was a good event, but I expected to win a couple more events, and realistically that was the only chance I got through to getting through to the final, but unfortunately now I can't make it anyway.
Well, good luck healing up. Hope to see you back.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, let's hope Mick is back in action soon. Meanwhile, the show goes on, Colin.
And you wouldn't want to be doing this event with a bad back. 285 pounds overhead as many times as possible in 75 seconds.
And the battle for second spot is very tight indeed. Right now, the Canadian is on the outside looking in. Just behind him in fourth is Josh Thigpen. But both of those two are within striking distance of second spot, which is currently held by the Latvian Raivis Vidzis. So they really are competing against each other here.
Well, it's 130 kilos, which is actually over body weight for Josh Thigpen. But it's not even just the weight of it, it's the sheer thickness as it crushes down against your face on each repetition.
Thigpen's had enough. Filiou has gone past him. So Filiou making a real move here, and that's forced Thigpen to come back and say, I want a bit more. Well, he took a pause to regroup, which is what Filiou's doing now. And Thigpen just about gets 9, but I wonder if he's going to give himself another break. Yep, he's had enough again. He'll need to regroup quickly because here comes Filiou. And they're level again. And the clock keeps ticking, 9-all. Who can make the big push here? Well, I think Thigpen looks like he's in real trouble, so Filiou with a real chance against one of his closest rivals.
Thigpen's got plenty of power, but he's absolutely spent. He's given so much in the other events beforehand. You have to take that into account, but perhaps the fitness of youth can pull out another one.
Well, oh no, what a shame. What a shame for Josh Thigpen. Big Dominic Filiou has hung on. That could be a very significant result in this race for second place. So we know that Filiou has 10, Thigpen has 9, and both of them just behind Raivis Vidzis in that race for second spot. So all eyes will be on the Latvian.
Well, you can see Thigpen using his legs well, exploding upwards, but his arms nowhere near as big as Filiou. This man has shoulders 4 feet wide, powering it up without any problem at all.
Well, here's the fella that's currently occupying that second place, but he knows that he's got to find 10 lifts here if he wants to maintain second spot, because the 2 North Americans are on his tail, and this fella's got a healthy lead and won't want to let it slip away. Won't any of those other 3 getting too close to him. He's such a cool dude in those shades. Nothing seems to faze him, does it?
Take your grip.
So here we go. 10 is the magic number as far as Vidzis is concerned. Dymek, well, he's looking confident.
I think Dymek will be pleased that this isn't from the floor each time. That would really stress the bicep, and you can see that left bicep still a little shriveled compared to the right.
Well, 6 without a pause for both of them. Dymek's already on to 8. Well, now it's time for Vidzis to draw breath, and Dymek says, well, 8's enough. I need to just retool. So they both had enough and just need to take a big breath here. And Vidzis really needs to find something extra special here. And there's another one, but he needs a few more.
Well, as the days have rolled by, Vidzis has lost body weight badly. Doesn't agree with the Chinese food here. We saw how strong he was in the medley at the beginning.
Dymek's made it to 10, but Vidzis is in real trouble, and it's a very good point you make, Colin. He looked so strong and fresh right at the start of the competition, the Latvian, but I think 7 is it, and he knows that those 2 North Americans may have overhauled him. Dymek's all right. No worries for the big pole, but this fella's running out of gas.
Well, it's delight for the pole there, but disaster for the Latvian. Just completely ran out of anything. Amazing power, though, from the Polish competitor.
Jarek, with that performance, it guarantees you a spot in the final.
Yes, now I'm very happy after this. I'm prepared for power, not for condition, and I'm happy that that was not up and down only over the shoulder. And I did same result like Dominic. He's very strong, and we have first place in this event. And that after this, I know that I'm in final.
Who do you think from this group is going to join you in the final?
That will be fight to the last stones, because 3 of this guy have same chance. I think Dominic come with me.
Well, we've got used in recent years to seeing Jarek Dymek in the final of World's Strongest Man, and he's there again, courtesy of that victory in the log lift. And while he may be able to take it easy in the final event, for the rest, it's almost a case of winner take all. The battle is well and truly on for that second qualifying spot. Just 2.5 points separating those 3 athletes. So will it be a Latvian, Canadian or American flag that's flying in the final? Find out soon.
Well, as we get ready for the final act of this leg, the Atlas Stones, we know this. Jarek Dymek is through, but any one of 3 can join him. in the final. Dominic Filiou in second place at the moment. As we look at the rules for those Atlas stones, they just get heavier and heavier. But the pressure really on the man in fourth place, Josh Thigpen.
Josh, this is your first time at World's Strongest Man. A couple of events you've done extremely well, but a couple maybe you're not so proud of. Going into the stones, you've got to have an unbelievable effort. Are you ready to bow up and do it?
I've got to, or else I go home. You know, I kind of put myself in this position, so I'm just going to have to give it my all and then let the chips fall where they may. Just got to focus on my stones, do them as fast as I possibly can. So that's all I can do.
Well, good luck to you.
Thanks, Cass.
Well, the problem he's got, of course, is even if he wins, he needs Dominic Filiou to come fourth if he's going to get through. So destiny not in his hands. But the young American going up against Jarek Dymek knows that all he can do is put in a good time and hope that's going to be good enough. And realistically, Colin, you have to say, though, that Thigpen, well, his hopes are hanging by a thread. He's got to win here and hope the other two fellas have a tough time. He really wants the pole to come second as well.
Well, one thing you have to say about Thigpen is he's the perfect shape for stone lifting. Long-armed, tall. He can get his arms around these huge circumferences. And this first one is 100 kilos. Makes it look like nothing.
Made it look like a marble, didn't he? Both of them did. And Thigpen's got his nose in front of Dymek. So far, so good for the young American. He must beat Dymek to stay in the competition. And the fourth one is done. Now comes the big one. He's got to keep it going because Dymek's moving in on him. Well, he's struggling, but so too is the pole. Now he looks like he's got it where he wants it. A second effort, and the American is home.
That double movement on the final stone might cost him. He'll be so pleased he got it up, but 30 seconds and over. Will it be a good time? Normally, yes, but today, who knows?
34.28. Is it enough for Thigpen?
Well, you can see there his grip just went. Didn't quite have enough glue on his arms to help stick to that stone.
Josh, that was an unbelievable effort to get that fifth stone. We don't know if that time's going to hold up, but that was truly awesome.
Well, I got stuck on the edge there. I didn't think I was going to get stuck. I can usually get those up pretty high. I don't know if it'll hold up, but there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm just going to sit back. Regardless, no matter what happens, I've had a great time in China. Hope I make the final, but if not, it's been an experience of a lifetime. So.
Very impressive. Good luck.
Thanks, Kev.
Well, the bottom line for Josh Thigpen is if either of these two fellas finishes 5 stones, regardless of the time, then he will be out of the competition because one of these two fellas will have guaranteed themselves at least second spot, and that will be enough to put Thigpen out. So he needs both these fellas to have a disaster if he's going to advance, and I don't think that's going to happen. This has almost come down to a straight head-to-head between Dominic Filiou and Raivis Vidzis. And your money would be on the Canadian because he's the one that's been finishing the stronger. Vidzis, though, knows what he's up against. But the Canadian's looking good. He's got a very good lead here, and he's just 1 stone away from destroying Thigpen's time. But did he go too fast? Well, he's got to just think and regroup, and there's a chance, just a chance here for Vidzis. 34.28 was the winning time for Thigpen, and Dominic Filiou has just broken that to confirm #1 place in the Atlas Stones and second place overall, and there's nothing Raivis Vidzis can do about it.
Oh, complete despair there for the Latvian. He did so well fighting back when Filiou rushed off into the lead as he did. And I have to say, I was surprised to see Filiou drop that stone, one of the best stone lifters we've seen so far this year in international competition. Lucky to get it on.
Josh, you finished just behind Dominic in the stones. You had a great performance. Are you going to go home and train harder and come back next year?
Oh, always. You always got to go back and train harder. I'm only 23 years old, so I've got a lot of time to grow and get better. And this was a blast. I couldn't be happier for Dominic. I really like Dominic, and he put on a great performance coming from behind. So it was great. He really had to pick it up.
Dominic, that was a fantastic performance. You must really be happy.
I'm really happy. I knew I was going to do good on the stones, but I wasn't sure if I was good enough to beat Josh. But I guess I was lucky. But like he said, he's only 23, so I think the American strongman future is right there.
You think you have a chance to become world's strongest man?
Me? Yeah, I hope so.
Well, good luck. You're big enough.
Thank you.
Big enough and strong enough when it comes to lifting stones. Filiou winning that event ahead of Josh Thigpen, which means it's the Canadian that makes it through to the final. So here's confirmation with the final leaderboard of this opening qualifying group. Dymek a convincing winner, Filiou finishing in the runners-up spot, and for Thigpen and Vidzis, it's an early flight home.
So disappointment for Britain's strongest man, Mick Gosling, but Jarek Dymek continuing the amazing tradition of Polish athletes in this event.
See you next time for Heat 2.
The competition continues each night this week at 7:15 with the final on Friday, so let's keep our fingers crossed for the Brits. Next tonight, an all-star lineup: Liv Tyler, Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis star in the explosive Armageddon.
Chengdu. You've probably never heard of it, but it's the fourth biggest city in China, bigger than London or New York. And on the subject of things that are big,
Welcome once again then to the Metrex World's Strongest Man competition. It's the second group of qualifying, and just 2 of the 5 athletes in this event will make it through to the final. The first event is the carry and drag. They've got 75 seconds to carry a huge anchor and drag an even bigger chain, and our commentary team is led by Nick Halling.
Thanks, John. Let's meet the big boys then. Sol Batay from South London, originally from Iran, and he is flying in Iranian colours here in China. And alongside him from Iceland, Boris Haraldsson. Iceland, of course, with such a rich tradition in strongman. He's a popular fella. Elbrus Nigmatullin of Russia. Russia's strongest man, former European arm wrestling champion as well. Alongside him, Mark Philippi from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, where he's the strength and conditioning coach for the American football team. Very experienced competitor. And here's Ralf Ber, the fireman from Vienna, rounding out the quintet. It's a very experienced field.
Take your positions!
And they're underway. 4 of these fellas know all about this event. And on the far side, Sol Batay is the new man. Now, who's in the lead? It's Nigmatullin and Ber neck and neck.
Well, I'm not sure this is all about experience at the moment. It's all about speed. And it's very, very tight indeed. Philippi, the oldest man in the competition, 40, perhaps sitting in last.
Well, Batay starting to feel the heat on the far side, but no problems for Ralf Ber. And Elbrus Nigmatullin looks like he's going to get second. And what a late charge from Philippi. He's got third as Haraldsson falls down. But look who's standing tall. It's Ralf Ber, the Austrian. A comfortable winner. But what a finish from Philippi. He went from 5th to 3rd.
A brutal event to start this competition on, but look at the speed of Ralf Ber there. 100 kilos, completely manhandling it, treated it like nothing.
Certainly did. A fast start from the Austrian.
So just over a second in it at the end, but Ralf Ber taking maximum points. And the big Austrian, having failed to get past the qualifying rounds in 2 previous attempts at World's Strongest Man, and on both occasions by just half a point, has taken an early lead. Will it be 3rd time lucky for him? Let's see what he's up against in this second qualifying round.
Boris Haraldsson, Iceland.
Elbrus Nigmatullin, Russia. Sol Batay, Iran.
Ralf Ber, Austria.
Mark Philippi, USA.
So coming up next, the giant log lift.
75 seconds here, 840 pounds in weight. That's about 287 on the hands. It's repetition within that time limit.
And first up, Boris Haraldsson, who had a chance at third spot in that first event, only to stumble at the finish line and allow Philippi to get back in. Let's see what he can do here.
But you can see he's using his legs very well, has a claim to the strongest legs in the world after doing some world records earlier in the summer in powerlifting.
Can you see how light it is?
Well, you've got to know how to work a crowd if you want to be the world's strongest man. Now he's taken his breather after 8 lifts. What else has he got? He's certainly going to want more than 8, that's for sure.
With this kind of weight on the shoulders, 132.5 kilos. Very, very difficult to do reps. The lactic acid builds up quickly, and I think it's quite sensible to take a break.
13. 14.
Well, this is a little bit more like it. Well, he got 8 on his first series. Now a bit of dancing. But the number of reps is going down. He had 8 in his first series, 6 in his second series. Let's see what he can do here on his third series. He's going to struggle to get 2. Now he might not be dancing and joking.
I think it's one of these events that when your triceps have gone, there's such small muscles at the back of your arms. When they've gone, it's absolutely no way you'll pull another repetition out.
Well, Boris looks happy enough with 15.
You see there, driving it up, using his legs well. And I think some of the more inexperienced athletes might just try and press this out with their arms.
Fortunately for Boris, you don't get bonus points for your dance moves. Now let's see what Mark Philippi can come up with, the 40-year-old American.
Okay, lift.
I remember on his first group, Haraldsson managed to put 8 together.
3.
And finished with 15. Philippi so far getting good reaction from those knees. Look how deep the knees are bending.
Well, it's just amazing, really. Back in '98, world's strongest man damaging his legs. Dropped a car on himself, and I tell you what, you don't want to do that. I wouldn't like to see this log go down on him either.
It's good to see the spirit within the competitors. It's Boris Haraldsson that's leading the cheers for Philippi.
10.
Just wondering what Philippi's car looked like after he'd dropped it on himself. I think the car probably came off worse than he did.
Well, car flipping, we don't see it much anymore, but I tell you what, Philippi has got phenomenally strong shoulders. Maybe he needs to take a break. He's got a little bit of time.
But as we saw with Haraldsson, once it starts to go, it's very difficult to get it back, and he's got to go a bit to match Haraldsson's 15. Can he find 3 more?
Well, Haraldsson cheering him on, but I wonder just how much he wants to see him do another 4 repetitions.
He might have been cheering then, yes, and it's 1. And that might be it for the American. Indeed it is. He walks away. 13.
Well, bodybuilders talk about the pump, don't they? When your muscles swell up with blood. You can see just how pumped up Philippi is there. His shoulders absolutely gorged. And he was worth no more after that. That was just a no more with that 13th rep.
Elbrus Nigmatullin, the Russian.
Elbrus, wait. Okay, take your position. Lift. 1.
Both the previous 2 lifters have gone to 8 and then stopped.
4.
Let's see if Nigmatullin
5.
can get that far.
6.
Come on, Russia, it's easy.
7.
Come on, people.
Haraldsson giving him a bit of a lift as well, and he goes to 8 and he's carrying on.
No lift.
Well, no lift given there. 9. That was controversial. And so he settles for 9, but he doesn't look very happy about it at all, does he? He thinks it should be 10.
Well, I'm guessing there it was a double movement with the legs. You're allowed to drive up once, but it is a push press. That means the legs have to stay locked after that initial movement.
11.
Well, now the Russian just has to put that behind him and carry on and try and go for that 15, and he looks like he's in trouble. Philippi, remember, 13.
One more.
And the Russian may struggle to get that far, and I wonder if that no lift might have just upset his rhythm here, because you've got to mentally concentrate on this as much as physically. And is he thinking about that no lift? Well, he's gone to 12. This to Thai Philippi, and he's not going to get it. Well, real disappointment. He's not yet walking away, but now he has given up. 12 he has to settle for. You just wonder about that no lift and whether that messed up with his mental preparation.
Well, he's going against a couple of the best lifters in the world, so he's trying to squeeze out an extra rep there, and you can see his double movement drove up, but as he came down, his legs bent again for a second time.
Ralf Ber in first place after one event. Very popular with this crowd. Maybe the crowd have taken to all these wonderful athletes.
Left.
So 15 to beat.
1, 2.
It'll be interesting to see how many he does in a block, because Nigmatullin had 9 but finished with the lowest score so far. The other two fellas stopped at 8. Well, he's got 8 very easily, hasn't he?
9. I'm not sure if these tactics are sensible, though. You sit at the bottom there without resting it. Well, he has now rested, and that was a good move by him. He can take a few seconds breath here.
10 without a pause, but is he going to pay the price? 12. He's level with Nigmatullin.
13.
He's level with Philippi. He's just behind Haraldsson. But is he going to get that 15th lift? Listen to that crowd. Look at Haraldsson looking on. Can he find another one? It doesn't. Is he going to make... Oh, what a tremendous second effort. 15. And I think he's going to sign off with that.
Well, he managed just to lean back there and press it up with his chest. Didn't look very good for your lower back, but it worked.
And how crucial will that final lift be come the end of this heat? Ber and Haraldsson sharing the points, and Mark Philippi, 13 reps, and only good enough for 3rd spot.
I'm down here with Ralf Ber. 15 reps in the log press. That was impressive. What did that last one feel like?
It was the hardest repetition I ever do in my life. Before I did powerlifting, but I never had so a hard repetition. I'm thinking about my little girl. She's 13 weeks old, and I do it for her and for me to come to the final. It's very important for me that I win the first 2 events, the second league, the same place for like Boris.
Well, Boris, you were looking on when Ralf did that. Did you think he had any kind of chance of making that 15th rep?
I didn't think anybody could catch me, but my hat goes off for him. This is one tough Austrian guy, so I'm happy also. 15 is very good.
It is very good. Congratulations to both of you guys. Keep up the good work.
This heat has the makings of being a real epic. Ber may have won the first 2 events, but you know it's going to be tight right to the end. Just 3.5 points separating the top 4. Now, Chengdu is the capital of China's Sichuan province, and it covers a total of almost 5,000 square miles. The history of Chengdu can be traced back almost 2,500 years, when the first emperor built his capital here and named the city. And translated literally, Chengdu means perfect metropolis.
Well, most fellas would love to get their hands on a few barrels of beer, but not quite like this. This is the squat lift, and those barrels of beer will punish you physically.
Starting weight here, 225 kilograms. And then as each barrel goes in, you have to take the weight and squat the next one up to a maximum 365 kilos.
Come on.
Solbatai, his brother Ali here as well. And Sol, a first-timer at the World's Strongest Man. And he's finding out what running with the big dogs is all about so far, but hopefully he's enjoying his experience. I wonder how much he's going to be enjoying this, though.
He is a former junior British powerlifting champion and record holder.
Well, he's got through 2 reps, but that second one seemed to take a lot out of him, and some of these other fellas will fancy a good 4 or 5, so Sol's got to really push this, and he can't get to 3.
Well, just a couple of kilos less on the bar there, and I'm sure he'd have made that third lift. He's got huge legs on him. I think perhaps just the position this machine puts you in tends to squeeze you backwards, a little like a mousetrap, something he's definitely not used to.
So, was it heavier than you expected it to be?
It was heavier than I expected, yes. It felt a bit strange because I've never been on such a bar, usually just squatting from an actual squat rack. So yeah, it did feel a lot stranger, but it was difficult.
Just missed out on going into first place. Are you disappointed?
I'm disappointed, but there's still 3 more events to go, so we'll see what happens.
Good attitude.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yes, a very positive attitude from Sol Battai, but here's a man who always wears a smile on his face, Boris Haraldsson.
It's a great honor to be competing World's Strongest Man, and something I've wanted to do since I was a small kid, so it's like a dream come true. It doesn't matter which country you go to. If you tell people you're from Iceland, oh, Iceland, very strong man. 2 former champions, 4 times World's Strongest Man each. John Paul Simonsson first, then Magnus Ver Magnusson after that. John Paul Simonsson is like the Icelandic idol to all kids and everybody. It doesn't matter which Icelander you speak to, everybody knows John Paul. It's a huge pressure because normal people don't really realize how hard it is to win the World's Strongest Man, because now we have an Icelander who's competing in World's Strongest Man, so they're thinking like, huh, you got a new champion. So it's quite a bit of pressure.
Well, Boris always says he draws on inspiration from the Nordic gods when things are going tough. He looks to Thor for inspiration. He'll need inspiration here. He's seen Sol Battai go through 2 reps. Well, there's the first one, looked good. And the second one is looking good as well.
Nice rhythm there. Seems to be taking the pain quite well as well. It really is agony as these 70+ kilo barrels drop down and in. Not one for the chiropractors to watch this.
Certainly isn't. Can he go to 5? Yes, he can, but now the going gets really tough. And Haraldsson taking a long look at that, but it was too much. 5 will have to do for Haraldsson, but that's pretty good.
I think the Icelander will be ecstatic with that. It's a great start to the World's Strongest Man competition for him, showing off his powerlifting strength, and he did set some world records earlier in the year with his legs. Slightly different squat, but a good effort.
Up next, the overall leader, Ralf Ber. And really, Colin, the trick is with this, as we sort of look back at Haraldsson there, he knew when to give up. There is a danger in overstretching yourself, isn't there? You've got to know when the thing has got you beat.
Well, Ralf Ber's a very experienced competitor. Looks very deep there, though, doesn't he? I wouldn't like to be going quite that low in my lower back, and it was quite cute there. You saw that photograph album from his child that he's taken away with him from Vienna.
That's his baby daughter. That's where he's going to be getting his inspiration from. And he's got through the first 4 without any problems whatsoever. Here's 5, and it's a good time as well. But can he really set the bar high for everybody else? If he can achieve this one, he's still going, and he's got there. But 6 is where it ends for Ralf Ber, but that's good enough for the lead.
Well, he didn't fancy getting trapped at the bottom there. I think we'll dub this the mousetrap machine, because it does hurt to go all the way deep. Doing the sensible option there, taking the 6th repetition, finishing it off, and he knows when he's beaten. Wasn't going to go for that last one.
Yep,
Come on,
very intelligent.
Come on now! Come on!
Now, Mark Philippi psyching himself up in the time-honoured American way. The most experienced man here, his 7th World's Strongest Man, but he's not made the final for a few years. You've got to go back to 1998 to see the big man from Nevada. Now, what can he do here?
He strapped his knees up very well. Had a lot of problems over the last few years with his knees, quite a lot of operations, but look at the speed of his legs. He does a lot of training in the gym, as you would have expected from a fitness trainer at UNLV.
This is looking good. 5 down and a fast time as well. 6. I think he will take the lead even if he doesn't make the 7, and he's going to make the 7. That was impressive. Good lifting and a fast time as well. Mark Philippi though, oh hello. It looks like he may have paid the price for that. He definitely grabbed at his left leg as he came away.
30.25 seconds. That was very impressive stuff from Philippi. The last barrel drops in, takes the weight, goes deep enough, comes back up. And I wonder where he's done the damage. If he'd done it earlier, that would have been agony to do.
Mark, all 7 barrels. You won the event. What's up with the quad?
I felt something pull on both sides. Second in the last barrel, and the last one, I've just felt my way through the lift to see how it was going to be, and you kind of lifted it with my back.
Well, despite that injury to his quad, Mark Philippi good enough to win that squat lift ahead of Ralf Ber, but that's a pretty solid performance from the Austrian. It does mean, though, the American's right in contention at the halfway spot. Ber has a 2.5-point cushion, but it's wide open, although Solbatai seems to have too much to do down at the foot.
Things you never knew about China, number 2. The very first postal service in the world was established in China in the 2nd century BC. Well, the crowd was great, I must say. So now it's time for the pig's lung. See you shortly.
Welcome back to Chengdu in China and the Metrics World's Strongest Man competition. We're halfway through Heat 2, and it's time to see an old favourite. It's time for the truck pull, and let's go back to our commentary team, headed by Nick Halling.
So the truck pull in so many ways symbolises the world's strongest man, and it really is very simple. 75 seconds to pull a 16,000-pound truck over 25 metres. Fastest man wins. Well, Solbatai found the going very difficult, very upright. Got the arms going, but didn't really use his legs to good advantage. And Sol, who found this a really painful event, will have to settle for 17 metres. Ralf Ber came in certainly looking confident. He got his technique going, everything working for him. Good coordination, arms and legs in harmony. And the 25 metres successfully covered in a time of 40.46. So the Russian, Elbrus Nigmatullin, knows what he has to do. 40.26 is his time.
Take the strain.
You would expect a man of his experience to certainly complete the course. The question is, how quickly can he do it? And you look at it and you just think, well, it's just a matter of pure raw power. But Colin, there's so much technique to this event.
One of the things you have to do is utilize your body weight as well as use your power. And by putting your back almost flat to the ground, you can drive forward through your legs, through the harness. And of course, let's not forget using your arms. You have to keep that rope tight, very taut. If it were to stop the truck, it would start rolling backwards here. It is on a slight incline as well.
Well, he's got Ber's time in his sights. Going past 30 seconds, but he's going to smash the 40.46 of the Austrian Ralf Ber. The clock stops at 37.13. Terrific pull from Elbrus Nigmatullin. He goes into the lead.
Well, one of the things Nigmatullin does well is arms and legs driving exactly the same time. So he's really hitting it with double power there.
Absolutely exhausted, but a good pull. And up next, Mark Philippi, whose background is American football. He's a strength coach.
I don't know what motivates me sometimes. Sometimes I think, well, you know, what the hell am I doing here? It's tough on your body. The general population, I think, kind of relates to what you're moving. Either it's a car or a stone or whatever, but maybe they don't really understand how hard it is to prepare for it until they look at your body and your arms are torn up from lifting stones and you don't have any skin on your hands. But when it's all done, you know, you kind of appreciate that you're able to do it. You know, it's a special group of people that can do this sport, and it's not very big. It's not a large percentage of the population. So I think anytime you find that you're good at something and you're at the top of your sport, you tend not to want to give it up.
Well, they don't teach this on an American football field. 16,000 pounds of truck that Mark Philippi's got to drag 25 metres. And remember, Philippi nursing an injured quad. He pulled a muscle in his left leg, and I wonder if that's going to affect him.
Well, one of the things they do in American football, of course, is the bear crawl, teaching the lineman how to drive low and hard. And of course, he's got huge arms as well. He'll utilize those well on this rope.
He's got that truck moving, and it's going well. Little stutter steps from Philippi, keeping his momentum. The worst thing you can do is lose that momentum, because you won't start it again. He's going to struggle to beat 37, and he's starting to fall away from him a little bit. Thought at one point he had a shot at the 37, but he's not going to make that.
Come on, man. Well, he's taking such short steps, isn't he? I think it's that injury. He can't really take a long step and use his quad heavily. He just has to use body weight and arms at the moment.
Yes, and you wonder if that has made the difference. Mark Philippi more than 10 seconds outside Elbrus Nigmatullin's time. He'll have to settle for that.
Well, it's so disappointing, that injury in the squat. I hope he recovers in time for the finals, if, of course, he can make it.
The conditions are a little bit slippery today with a wet surface. What are your feelings on that?
You know, every strongman has done truck pull in the rain, so everybody should be used to it. I got my special wall climbing shoes for extra grip, and they're pretty good even though it's wet, so it'll be good. No worries.
Are you looking to the Icelandic gods to take you through?
Yeah, of course. Thor. Yeah, power.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Well, Elbrus Nigmatullin must be a very worried man. He's in the lead, but he's got Thor coming up next. Thor and Boris Haraldsson together. That could be a lethal combination. Let's see if the Icelander can draw on those Nordic gods to get him over the finishing line ahead of the Russian.
He has got a track and field background as well, so you know he's got speed. Anyone who's done a lot of shot putting, discus throwing, and a bit of the Highland Games. But I tell you what, he was talking about it not slipping, but that's twice there that he's had a slip.
But he's kept his momentum, and look at the angle of his back. He's getting absolutely everything into this.
Well, Nick, I think he's far too upright there. He's not really parallel with the ground. We saw Philippi absolutely perfect, straight as an arrow looking forward, but Boris right upright, not very experienced in truck pulling, and I think it's going to be a hindrance.
Well, it's a hindrance against Nigmatullin, but can he beat Ralf Ber's 40.46? And look at that. If that timing is accurate, he's missed second spot by 1/100th of a second.
Hello! Icelandic power!
Well, I don't think he knows quite how close he was to second place. 1/100th of a second. Haraldsson has to settle for third.
Well, sport is all about fine margins, and in strongman's terms, they don't come much finer than that. 1/100th of a second, depriving Haraldsson of second spot, but Nigmatullin a convincing winner.
Boris, you were 0.100th of a second behind Ralf Ber in the truck pull. And now you set a half a point behind Mark Philippi. There's 2 events left, the Atlas Stones and the Fingal Fingers. What's your plan on making it up and gaining a spot to go into the finals?
I was very unlucky with the truck pull, 0.01 seconds. It's faster than a blink of an eye. I'm only trailing by half a point. I was trailing Philippi by 1.5, so I actually gained up on his lead. But I'll do my best then. My chances are as good as anyone else. I'll just talk to the gods of Iceland, Thor, and ask him to give me some extra power for the fingers and the Atlas Stones.
Well, with Thor and your attitude, you look like you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
It looks as though Ber almost has 1 foot in the final already. He's got a 4.5 point lead with just 2 events to go. Will the gods of Iceland help Haraldsson make it to second spot?
So 2 events left. And next up, the Fingal Fingers. Well, the rules for the fingers, 75-second time limit. Those fingers go up in weight, and all 5 of them have got to be turned or flipped through 180 degrees. Well, Solbatai, sadly for him, found the going tough once again, and the newcomer to the world's strongest man had to settle for just 2 fingers. He nearly got the third. The big man from Iran had to settle for 2. So it's Boris Haraldsson and Mark Philippi going head-to-head, just half a point separating second and fourth. And these are two of the fellas that are locked in a deadly rivalry. Ralf Ber in the lead with a healthy cushion as well, but only one man can join him in the final. So who can get the early initiative here? Haraldsson. Looks like he's got the fast start, and Philippi looked like he might have been struggling as early as that very first finger. Haraldsson certainly got the jump on him. 2 done very easily, and Philippi is really suffering.
Well, I saw Pudzianowski speaking with Mark Philippi earlier. Philippi desperately trying to try out new techniques, just doesn't understand how to turn these over. You can see bending his arms there. That's a no-no straight away, but this is impressive from the newcomer Boris.
Both of them putting everything into it, but Haraldsson has got the fourth one down. Philippi is going to get the third, but that seemed to have taken everything out of him. Can the American find anything else? Can indeed Haraldsson find anything else? Those last 2 fingers each seemed to be the bottom of the well for both these fellas. It's going to be a real struggle from here, and that clock is ticking as well. Haraldsson desperately trying to keep it going. Philippi looks like he's run out of gas completely, and so too has Haraldsson. That's as far as it goes for the man from Iceland, and Philippi's going no further. Although he won't give up, but that's the end of the line for him.
Well, he's going for the shoulder shunting method, and that really does hurt, and to be honest, doesn't work very well. He's got huge, strong legs, but we know they're injured.
Well, in the overall picture, that's really bad news for Mark Philippi. Boris Haraldsson will move past him, whatever happens now.
The Icelander there putting in a good time, good result. Managed to hold form there. Nice straight arms driving through the finger each time, using his leg power rather than trying to press it. And that's where Philippi came unstuck. He just couldn't use his legs. They're injured.
So up from Ralf Ber and Elbrus Nigmatullin. Ralf, the man who has yet to qualify for a final, is Nigmatullin. Currently tied for second, but Ber at the moment looking good. He's missed out before, heartbreakingly, on both previous occasions by just half a point. Is it third time lucky for the Austrian? Well, a good fingers here will confirm that Ralf Ber will be through to the final, but it's Nigmatullin that's off to the fast start.
Well, one of the things that has to be taken into account now is who is the fittest as much as anything. We've had the brutal squat event, the overhead press, so all of the muscles you use in fingers have been taxed already.
This, Colin, really good news for Elbrus Nigmatullin. His time is very good as we get to this fourth finger. Ber's going okay too, but Nigmatullin's got a chance to confirm second place overall. Move past Haraldsson and Philippi. And a fifth finger here will definitely do it for him. And Ralf Ber's doing pretty well as well, so he'll consolidate his position at the top of the leaderboard. But Nigmatullin knows he's made a big move with the fingers. He wins, and that will definitely push him up to second place overall, but Ber will still be in front.
There's very few men who've ever done the 5 fingers in the history of strongman. This is one of the shortest as well, which makes it even more impressive. So determined is Nigmatullin, and you know he doesn't have the kit back at home to train on either. This arm wrestler is really proving to be a tough guy.
Well, a hugely significant win there for Nigmatullin ahead of Haraldsson and Ber. Worth saying at this point that Sol Bataille sustained a shoulder injury in trying to lift those fingers, and that really has cooked his goose. But for the Austrian Ralf Ber, a very proud moment. Through to the final, and there's still one event to go. And there's confirmation of him making it through to the World's Strongest Man final for the first time, that Nigmatullin, Haraldsson and Philippi would still like to be joining him there. And so, as the big man from Vienna waltzes into the final, it's time for him to reflect on a lifetime's ambition achieved.
Well, you've missed out 2 events by half a point. You must be proud to be able to make it to the final.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud to come to the final. The Morocco and Zambia was very good teachers for me. I'm very nervous in this booth competition, and I make a lot of stupid things. And now I'm older, 7 years older, and have more experience. I'm competing 20 times a year, and I'm very proud to represent Austria in the final.
Well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
So Ralf Ber through to the final, but only one man can join him. The Atlas stones will determine who. 5 stones of ascending weights. 75-second time limit to get those stones on those columns. Mark Philippi knows he needs a miracle. He needs to win and then hope that everything else falls into place. Realistically, his chances are remote, but how wonderful for Ralf Ber. Inspired perhaps by his baby daughter. Through to the World's Strongest Man final at the 3rd time of asking.
Take your positions.
This icing on the cake for him. But Philippi needs to have a flyer.
Not really the right body shape for this either, Mark Philippi. Very squat, thick chest, short arms. Good for powerlifting and bench pressing, but bad for getting your arms around those giant stones.
Well, the American doing okay so far, as Ber is perhaps taking it easy, knowing that he's safely through. Philippi, of course, absolutely blasting through these stones. The heaviest is last. Ber is just taking his time, and Philippi has got there. Good time, 36.41. Will it be enough? Realistically, though, it's not going to work for Mark Philippi because he needed Ber to finish second to push the others down, and Ber has just Ber's decided, you know what, I've done enough work, I'm through to the final, let's leave it at that.
Quite a sensible option, really. You can see his left arm taped up there. Bicep hurting a little bit, but he's not one to walk away, is he? That's for sure. Wants to give the crowd a show.
Yes, he is. He's thought better of it. I think he heard you there, Colin, and thought, I'm not going to give up. And then he thought, oh yeah, maybe I will. Philippi, 36.41.
Well, his first few stones absolutely flew up, which is surprising. Normally the really tall athletes find it easy there. But I have to say, it was determination from the 40-year-old man. He wants to get to the final. He knows this might be his last chance of winning the big one.
Well, the American will be hoping both these two fellas have a complete collapse. And for Haraldsson on the left, the equation is very simple. He needs to beat Mark Philippi's time of 36.41, and then he has to hope that Elbrus Nigmatullin finishes with a slower time than the American. Nigmatullin must come 3rd.
Take your positions.
So Haraldsson will look back, I'm sure, at that truck pull when he missed out on second spot by 1/100th of a second. What a difference that could have made to the Icelanders' campaign here. Nigmatullin going well. Haraldsson's got the lead. 36.41 is the key time, remember. Haraldsson's got to beat that and hope that Nigmatullin fails to beat it. And Haraldsson slowed there. But Nigmatullin dropped that 5th stone so Haraldsson can get ahead of him here. 36.41, the key time from Philippi, remember, and they've both landed in. That's a photo finish, but it won't matter for Boris Haraldsson because he needed Nigmatullin to finish slower than Philippi, and Philippi finished with 36.41, so the Russian has beaten that, and it means he will claim second spot, whatever.
But Nick, it was close there. He slipped the first time he went up to that stone, the Russian, and he could have just struggled to get it on at all. For Haraldsson, at least he knows he was better than Nigmatullin in the stones, and perhaps it makes up for that tough call in the truck pull.
We're talking such tiny margins here, aren't we? 1/100th of a second in the truck pull, 400ths of a second here in the Atlas stones. But it wasn't good enough for Haraldsson because Nigmatullin is the man who goes through to the final for the very first time. And also a debutant in the final will be Ralf Ber from Austria. Already there waiting for them, Jarek Dymek of Poland and Dominic Filiou of Canada. But a few split seconds here and there denied the Icelandic pocket battleship.
Boris, great performance. The Icelandic god will be proud.
Thanks. But next year, it won't be luck. I'll come back bigger, better, stronger, faster, and then the Viking power will show.
So, 3 Europeans and 1 North American are through to the final already as we head towards Heat 3 and the arrival in the competition of the biggest name of them all, twice the world's strongest man, Mariusz Pudzianowski of Poland. We'll see you next time.
And you can see all the action from Heat 3 when the world's strongest man returns at the same time tomorrow night at 7:15. Up next tonight, we're looking up at the awesome Petronas Towers in Malaysia, one of the world's tallest buildings in megastructures, in just a moment.
Mariusz Pudzianowski eats strongmen for breakfast. He's won his last 21 consecutive strongman events. But now, here in Chengdu in China, comes the biggest test of all for the man who has twice been world's strongest man. Mariusz Pudzianowski conquered the world in 2002 and 2003, but last year his bid to join the greats of Bill Kazmaier, Magnus Ver Magnusson and John Paul Sigmarsson as a 3-times champion fell short. So, can the Dominator from Poland become just the 4th ever athlete to win 3 Metrex World's Strongest Man titles? It's time to find out. Here we go then with the 3rd of 5 qualifying rounds in this year's championship, and our commentary team is led by Nick Halling.
Thanks very much, John. Let's start with the medley. That's the course. Here are the rules. You've got 75 seconds to complete the 40-metre course. You've got to carry that anchor, drag that anchor and chain, and then when you've done that, a 495-pound lump of metal has got to be carried 20 metres. And here are the 5 guys looking to do it. Steve Bourgeois from Quebec, the 36-year-old. From Canada. Here's Brian Irwin from Belfast. One of the quiet men of the world of strongman. Don Pope, the American, construction worker by trade from Cleveland, Ohio. But this is who they've come to see, Mariusz Pudzianowski. That is Polish for Polish power. That fella has it in abundance, the 2-time world's strongest man. And rounding out the group, Michael Starov of the Ukraine, the man who says he's got the nicest hair of anyone in strongman. He's got a few more skills than that as well. Talking of nice hair, Colin Bryce is alongside me. Colin, can anybody beat Mariusz Pudzianowski?
Well, I see it as a huge task to beat someone like Pudzianowski. I certainly wouldn't like to be in a heat with him. And look at Brian Irwin there, already slipped over that first 10 metres. That's a disaster for the Irishman.
It's the 2 East Europeans, the Pole and the Ukrainian, that have got the early lead here. Pudzianowski with his nose in front, Starov trying to stay with him, and Irwin has made a good recovery, but he's still got some work to do. But no doubt about the leader. And now, what can he do with this 495-pound lump of metal? And when we saw the first heat, Colin, nobody could drag this 20 metres.
It's just a little bit too far, really. You can see how wide it is on the legs. And only Pudzianowski can do this, can't he? Well, I don't know what the others are going to manage here. The taller man probably has an added bonus. It can swing that little bit easier between the legs.
He's made it look so easy so far. Can he complete the job? Plenty of time, still 20 seconds left. He'll do it easily. Look at that. The Iron Man of strongman has done it. Nobody else is coming close.
And he didn't really need to go that far, did he? There's a huge battle here for second place, and it's neck and neck.
Yep, Pope to the far side, Starov nearest to us. Starov's just got the lead at the moment. Last few seconds now, great second effort from Pope. That's second place at the moment. There's the whistle, and that won't count from Starov. Pope will have taken it just with that second effort right on the whistle. Well, you can see it there, Pope just in the lead, and there's the whistle.
Well, that's a big blow for the Ukrainian, who was perhaps seed number 2 in this heat.
Happy. Yeah, second spot for Don Pope. Brian Irwin's early stumble really knocked him out of contention, but no doubt about our winner, as expected, Mariusz Pudzianowski, the 2-time world's strongest man, did it again, and he's talking now to Bill Kazmaier.
Mariusz, that did not look heavy for you.
Yes, not heavy, only now pain stomach because last night I eat food and coke. Sleep only 2 hours. Now pain stomach is not heavy for me.
You traveled a long way to get to this competition. How many hours flight?
I have flight 16 hours. It's very, very long flight.
All those hours in the air haven't stopped him performing to his best, so as expected it's Pudzianowski who takes an early lead here in Chengdu in China. And this could well turn out to be a race for second place in this group, as only 2 can qualify from each of the 5 groups for a grand final consisting of 10 athletes. Let's take a closer look now at Group 2.
Brian Irwin, Northern Ireland.
Don Pope, USA. Michael Staro, Ukraine.
Steve Bourgeois, Canada.
Mariusz Pudzianowski, Poland.
The second event for the athletes is a long tradition in strongman sport, the squat lift, where Don Pope of America has managed 5 repetitions and Steve Bourgeois of Canada is currently leading with 6. But before we get to the live action, let's hear more from the man they call the Dominator.
I am 2 times world strongest man. Maybe this year, 3rd time. I hope.
Only 3 men in the history of this event have won it more than twice. Our very own Bill Kazmaier won it 3 times in a row in the 80s, and Iceland's John Paul Sigmarsson and Magnus Ber Magnusson each won it 4 times, so winning a 3rd would put Pudzianowski in elite company.
I want to be the best strongman ever. I want 5 times world strongest man. Maybe for me it's possible.
So Steve Bourgeois' 6 reps in 40.19 is the benchmark. You would expect Mariusz Pudzianowski to blow that away. We shall see. There's the first one. And in come the barrels. You can see the effect it has on the body as that barrel drops. Just watch Pudzianowski's body just shudder every time one of those barrels lands.
Well, it's as if squatting wasn't hard enough, the weight on your back, but then throw in some more just to make it a bit tougher. Now, one thing you have to say about Pudzianowski is he does everything fast. You can see there, already going through 5 barrels very quickly.
There's the 6th, and he's comfortably inside Bourgeois' time, but this is the test for him. He struggled on that 6th, and he's taking his time here on the 7th, and he's not going to make it. But he goes into the lead, 6 reps. And well inside Steve Bourgeois' time, 31.39. That's good enough for first place so far.
Well, Pudzianowski chooses a very deep stance here, all legs. You can see just how low his posterior drops there, almost to the back of his heels.
Brian Irwin from Belfast had that problem in the medley when he had an early stumble. And you can't have an early stumble and give a world-class field like this any opportunity. He was never able to make it up. Anyway, 1 down. How many more has Brian got?
Well, Brian does a very strange squat, feet very close together, bar very high up the neck, and that's got to cause a lot of pain up on the top of your spine.
4, safely done. Pope did 5 in 27.96. And so he's going to get in front of that. But how much more's he got? That 5th rep looked like it took a lot out of him, and the 6th is too far. Well, Brian Irwin has to settle for 5, and I think he's just got inside Don Pope's.
Well, he got mousetrapped there, didn't he? It's such a brutal machine, this. Isn't used to this kind of international equipment, Irwin. Very inexperienced to the top level. He doesn't even bring himself some top squatting shoes either, and I think he's one for the future.
So to complete the quintet, and the man who knows exactly what he's got to do, Michael Starov. And you would think that the Ukrainian, with his powerlifting background, would have a big advantage in this event. Pudzianowski watches.
Squat. Very much like the Olympic lifting. It's a routine each time. Having a shuffle with his feet there, so already going slower than Pudzianowski, who blasted away on the first 3 barrels.
but the time won't matter if he gets all 7 reps. It's reps that count first, and nobody got all 7. So here's a chance for 5, and Pudzianowski's looking on as if to say to himself, hey, this fella's going pretty well.
Well, his head's shaking there. He knows his time is fast, but the world powerlifting champion, everything to do here.
And he's done it, and he's made it look easy. 34.44. You expected the powerlifter to do well, and Michael Staroff certainly delivered, pushing Pudzianowski into 2nd place.
365 kilos, that last barrel. A phenomenally big weight, but for this man, he's done 1 rep maxes over 400 kilos before.
Mikhail, over 2,000 kilos, 7 successful lifts. You made that look pretty easy.
Yeah, it was easy actually. I could do 1 more reps, I think, if it was the 7th barrel. It wasn't too hard.
Some people are calling this the group of death. Do you think you can make it through to the final?
I would like to. I want it very badly, you know, but I think it will be very difficult because we can say with sure that Mariusz will be the first. I think he's very, very good. And we 4 guys only is competing for the 1 place to finals, and this is very hard.
You said before you had the nicest haircut in strongman. Is this really true?
No, it was when I was blonde. I was like Jesse Marunde is. Now he has the best.
Looking good and really strong. You've got it all.
I hope so.
And Jesse Marunde and his haircut you can see in Heat 5. So there's proof that Pudzianowski is human and beatable, with Staroff taking maximum points in the 2nd event, the squat lift. But not surprisingly, the Pole still leads after 2 events. He's got a 1-point cushion ahead of the Ukrainian, with Don Pope in 3rd along with Steve Bourgeois. And Brian Irwin of Northern Ireland is bringing up the rear at the moment.
The next event is the Hercules hold. 2 pillars together weighing over 700 pounds, and they're literally trying to pull your arms out of their sockets. You've got to hold on to them for as long as you possibly can, and the maximum time is a winner. But those pillars really sap your strength and drain your resolve, and the first man to test himself on the pillars is the man from Belfast, Brian Irwin, one of the quiet men of strongman.
I compete in strongman because it's been in me since a small child, wanting to be strong, wanting to do things that normal people don't do. I would say my condition would be a lot better than it has been in previous contests. My fitness has improved. I think I'm ready for this World Strongest Man. This should be my best performance. Hopefully I'm going to get into the final. I would say my heat's one of the hardest, but I've got a good chance.
This is one of those events where you just cannot hide. You'll see it in their faces, and you'll definitely see it in their arms when the strain starts to get too much. And how long can Irwin hold on for? A good benchmark is 30 seconds. Anything past 30 seconds is a real bonus.
10 seconds. The world record up just over a minute. I don't suppose we'll see that. And you know, one of the things about grip, as much as you train it, it's just a great test of natural strength. Very hard to improve on it.
Well, Irwin's looking solid so far, but when it all goes, it goes quickly, just like that. He looked fine at 20 seconds, but didn't even make 26. And he'll be disappointed with that.
25.58 isn't wonderful. Let's not pretend. I think Brian Irwin perhaps had a few problems with his hands there. He doesn't have the biggest hands, and it is a very big grip to hold on to. And I'm sure that didn't help him.
So next up, the Canadian Steve Bourgeois.
Obviously, it's a dream come true to be here. Is kind of the pinnacle of my career, and it's something I've always wanted to do before I retire. And I guess now I can.
Came through the Super Series to get here, mixing in exalted company. Can he finish in the top 2 here?
Well, there's been a qualification process this year through the Super Series. You had to finish top 4 in one of the 4 competitions around the world to get here, or be the next highest qualifiers.
Well, Bourgeois just gritting his teeth there early on, and he is really suffering. He may not make Brian Irwin's mark. Just hanging on at the moment. And this is mind over matter. Mentally, he is so focused. He's done a terrific job because he was looking like he was really struggling as early as 15 seconds.
Can't help when you start to hear the crowd. It really can bring you along. I'm just amazed. I thought he would do half of this time.
Well, it just goes to show that appearances can be deceptive, because he looked like he was suffering after 15 seconds, and he's closing in on a minute. 53.59. That is a phenomenal mark.
Well, almost pulled over to the right-hand side, wasn't he? Hand went into rigor mortis there. Just couldn't let go of it. But a very impressive performance from Bourgeois, the Canadian, who's certainly very tough-minded. Wasn't about to give up before he had to.
Steve, you look like you're going through a little bit of discomfort up there until you settled in with a strong 53-plus hold. Tell us about the pain you were feeling.
Yeah, it was pretty painful, especially the initial jolt when the pillars let go, but I kind of settled in and worked through the pain, and I'm very happy with my time of 53. Hopefully it'll stand up. We got some good guys coming up after me.
Yes, 53.59. That is quite a task for anybody following. And next up, it's the man from Ohio, Don Pope, the construction worker. And I don't think anything in his job would train him for something like this.
Are you ready? Yes. Take the strain.
So we're underway for the American.
Talk about tough guy. Just 6 weeks ago in the Ukraine, competing for America, smashed both his front teeth out in a log lifting event. Carried on with the event before he went to hospital. So I think he's pretty tough.
Well, that's the American way, isn't it? You've got to play through pain. And he's feeling pain right now, but trying not to show it. And there's the first milestone. He's got past 30 seconds. Can he get to 53.59? A long, long way to go. And when the tank hits empty, it's very sudden indeed. Literally, you're feeling okay. Then within 3 or 4 seconds, it's all gone, and that arm's going. And you saw the left arm start to go, and he just couldn't hold it, but that's not a bad score.
Great score for Pope, 45.23 seconds. World-class time for him. Bourgeois, though, must be feeling like he stands a good chance of beating the great one.
Well, Mariusz Pudzianowski might even have been surprised at the figures that the two North Americans have put up. It means he's going to have to do some work here on the Hercules pillars. But if there's anybody you'd fancy to crack the magic minute, it would be him. Could he do it right here?
Yes! Take the strain!
So off we go. Pudzianowski with 53.59 to beat.
Well, as I said, one of these natural strengths, very hard to train. And just by looking at his body, you can see how well trained he is. Outtrains anybody else. Christmas Day, he's there twice in the gym, working 5 hours. He's so tough, so determined to be champion for 3, maybe even 5 times. But because it is a natural thing, it'll be very difficult for him to improve much above his natural best.
And it looks like he's starting to suffer, and he's got a good 13 seconds to go if he wants to beat the Canadian. And this is all grit. 44.86. Under normal circumstances, that would be a pretty good time. In this field, it's going to have him in the middle of the pack.
Just having another quick look there. You can see he's in control, going up past 40 seconds. And suddenly, just what you were talking about there, it goes in a heartbeat. As soon as it slips, that's it.
Oh, Michael Staroff in second place overall. Remember, the top 2 qualify for the final. And when you think that Pudzianowski's almost guaranteed one of those spots, it's the race for second place.
You happy with that?
Bourgeois' 53.59.
Are you ready?
Must look like an hour.
Yes. Say yes,
As far as Michael Staroff is concerned, it's an awfully tough job to try and beat that.
I'm not entirely sure he had the tension right in the chains there. Did you see that? The pillars just dropped about an inch right when the whistle went, and that must have caused a jolt on his hands.
Steve Bourgeois looking on. Is Starov the last man up? Gonna pip him at the post. Still not at 30, and no, it was never right for him, was it? You saw it early, Colin. It was all wrong right from the start.
Well, when you got 180 kilos in each hand, a 1-inch movement can cause a serious amount of pressure. Probably could multiply that by double.
So that's perhaps an unexpected victory for Steve Bourgeois, but it puts him right in contention, and maybe the Hercules hold is the Achilles heel of Mariusz Pudzianowski. But at the halfway point, as the Canadian celebrates with his Chinese fan club, it's clear that Pudzianowski's not getting everything his own way, because there's only 3 points separating the top 4 competitors in Heat 3 of World's Strongest Man. Things you never knew about China, number 3. 2 of the most popular rock acts over here at the moment are called Suffocation and Brain Failure, but the most popular Western music act across China is Richard Clayderman. Well, I enjoyed the pig lung so much. We're moving on now to the cow's tongue.
I am Mariusz Pudzianowski from Poland. I will come back to World's Strongest Man. This year, I win. I show you who is the best. Polska górą!
Polish power from Pudzianowski. But next up, the 5 Fingal Fingers. They get heavier as you go along. They start at 440, they finish at 660. You've got to turn them all over within 75 seconds. Well, first up, and on his own, Brian Irwin. It can be such a disadvantage to do this on your own because you haven't got anybody to feed off, and Brian certainly found the going tough. 2 was his limit. 3 was just 1 finger too far. Mikhail Starov G'ing himself up. And he'll need to be G'd up against Mariusz Pudzianowski. The overall leader, as you would expect. And he's pretty good at the old Fingal Fingers. A man with lots of experience of turning these 5 blocks of wood through 180 degrees and in double quick time as well. You don't get too many 5s. That's how difficult it is, but it would be a surprise if this fella doesn't make 5, and he's gone off like a hare out of a trap.
Well, Pudzianowski might not have legs as strong as Starov in the squatting, but he's certainly extremely explosive, and that's a big help in this kind of event.
Yes, he's absolutely tearing through this field. Starov's going okay on the other side. This is no shabby achievement from the Ukrainian. He's got his 3, but it's 4 for the pole, and he's making short shrift of this. Starov struggling with his 4th. It's going to be important for the Ukrainian to make that 4th, and I don't think he's going to get it, but no doubt about this at all from Pudzianowski, as we expected. 5 out of 5.
Starov still struggling on there with the shoulder shunting method. When the arms start to get too tired to hold these weights up, that's all you've got left to do.
Well, that's a bonus though, Colin. That is a real bonus. He didn't look like he was going to make it, but he's made the 4th. He won't make the 5th for certain, but what an effort, because he looked beaten on that 4th one. It could be so significant.
He doesn't look well at all, does he? I think that squatting really took it out of him. He was so keen to beat Mariusz on his home event, as it were.
So the 2 East Europeans have set the target. Pudzianowski getting all 5, and Starov getting 4 in under a minute. And up next, it's an all-North American battle, and here's Don Pope from Ohio.
2 years ago when I went to Zambia, it was a dream come true. You know, I was in a group with some guys I'd been watching for years. You know, I had Magnus, I had Savickas. You know, I'd rather go against the best than maybe slide in there with a weaker group, you know. And, you know, I won an event, and, you know, I made some rookie mistakes. This year should be a different story, you know. I'm not just glad to be here. You know, I'm stronger now, I'm in better shape, I'm bigger. Some say even better looking.
Well, if Don wants to think he's good looking, he's not going to get any argument here. And here's another handsome chap, Steve Bourgeois. Currently tied for second place after that tremendous effort with the Hercules pillars. Well, some slightly different pillars to deal with now for the Canadian.
Take your positions!
Now remember, Staroff put 4 over in just under a minute. That's got to be the benchmark for these two fellas to beat if they want to try and stay in the race for second place. And they've both made a solid start. Pope is flying, but Bourgeois right on his heels as well. This is good stuff from the two North Americans.
They both look like they've put their time in training as well. Technique very good. Elbows locked out. Arms driving at the same time as the legs. That's what you need.
Pope's done 4, way ahead of Staroff, and he's got a chance at 5 here as well. Now, can Bourgeois do 4.5 for Pope in 39.47? A phenomenal effort from him, but Bourgeois is in big, big trouble on that 4th one. Tremendous encouragement from this crowd. And he goes for the old shoulder shunt. It worked for Staroff. Can it work for Bourgeois? And then it's a question of the clock.
Well, the thing is, the lower down that Fingal's finger you are, the heavier it becomes. You're closer to the pivot point. That was probably very sore in the shoulder.
So Bourgeois will have to settle for 4th.
And so Don Pope, one of the new breed of emerging American strongmen stars, takes maximum points there. Pudzianowski perhaps playing a conservative game as he picks up points, 2nd place here, 3rd place there, because at the end of the day, all he has to do is get to the final, and at the moment, he's standing in pole position, 2 points clear of Pope, but Staroff and Bourgeois not out of it.
I'm here at the log lift, the 5th of 6 events for Group 3. At 286 pounds, this might as well be half a tree. After a few repetitions, the athletes will feel like they've got the entire forest in their hands. Their arms and shoulders will feel like they're in an inferno. With every rep, their body will be gasping for air. With their entire body spent, the only thing they'll have left is their will and the promise of 2 spots left in the final.
Well, in the overhead lift, poor old Brian Irwin was nobby-no-mates again. He had to go it alone, but he did a very useful job with just the crowd to urge him on. The man from Belfast would have to settle for 8. Not bad.
Contest is 75 seconds long. 286 pounds, 130 kilograms. You have to lift it to your chest and lift it to arm's length as many times as possible.
Steve Bourgeois of Canada, currently lying in 4th place, but only 2 points separate 2nd from 4th, and Pudzianowski hasn't exactly raced away from them in the lead either, but this is the interesting battle. It's Pope, Bourgeois and Staroff locked in a battle for 2nd place, and here's 2 guys right here.
Take your grip.
That not only are they battling this 286-pound log, they're battling each other as well, and they know it. All right. Well, there's 1 for each of them. Now, again, you'd think Staroff with that powerlifting background, this is an event that he would excel at.
Well, not only that, but he's also quite short compared to some of the other athletes. Bourgeois up at 6'5" nearly, long arms as well. Much further to go with that weight, but Staroff, look at this, has a little jerk with the legs, snaps with the triceps. You can see why he's in the lead.
Meanwhile, Steve Bourgeois is in real trouble. No, he's going to have to settle for 3 before he has his first break. And usually you get the most lifts you're going to get on your first set of lifts. So, as you see, Staroff managed to pull in 7. Bourgeois with 3. He may struggle to get to 5 or even 6. Starov gets to 8, so he joins Brian Irwin. Bourgeois manages to pick up another one, and he can't get to 5, and in fact they're not even giving him the 4th one either. Starov's happy enough, 9 for him, but Steve Bourgeois, well, he hit empty very quickly, and that could be huge in the race for a top 2 spot, and I think he knows it. This is disastrous for him.
Well, it was a touch-and-go decision for that 9th repetition for Starov there. Just held it up long enough. All it needs is a momentary pause with locked elbows and feet in line. So, he takes the lead.
Mikhail, you knew you needed 8 reps. You did 9. That's got to make you happy.
Yes, I'm totally happy because I've never done so many reps before. This is my personal best record. I did only 7 before maybe. So I did everything I can, even more.
Well, what would it mean to you personally to make it into the final?
I know, it was my dream. 15 years ago, I already was lifting weights and I saw this competition on TV and I thought, oh God, they're so great, the guys. I would never be there, I think. And now dreams come true, you know.
Well, it must have been Don Pope's dream when he beat Mariusz Pudzianowski in the Fingal Fingers. Now, can he beat him with this big log? Well, that's going to be a very tall order. And Pudzianowski will know that he needs a good performance here because Pope and Starov are not that far behind him. He doesn't want to have too many more slip-ups. So, can Pope build on that good effort in the Fingal Fingers, or can Pudzianowski win this event, thereby putting himself in the final for certain?
Well, I know it's a bit ridiculous saying it's a great event for Pudzianowski. Every event is great for the Pole, but this one in particular, he is particularly special at.
Starov had to stop at 7. Pudzianowski is still going. Pope's going pretty well, and that lift right there is the lift that puts Pudzianowski into the final. Everything else is a bonus for him. As expected, he is going to come through. The interesting thing is what's happening to Pope. Well, he's got to 8. Pudzianowski can allow himself a smile. He doesn't need to do any more work. Pope does. He needs one more to level with Michael Starov, and that could be a very significant lift as we see Pudzianowski just showboating now. Showing off, because you can. 13 for him. Pope, this is a very serious lift. This to level with Starov. Now, if he can find another, that could be very significant indeed. Can he do it? No. It was close. He's going to have to settle for a tie with Michael Starov. He put everything into that, the American.
Well, the group of death is becoming a very apt saying, isn't it? This is a hard competition, but Pudzianowski there on the 12th rep, just joking around, lifts it up and starts smiling at the referee. He really is in control at the moment. Great tricep power and fabulous fitness.
Mariusz, you looked smooth in the log press. Was it as easy as it looked?
Yes, today this is log is for me easy. 130 kilo is very heavy. For me today is light. 12 reps is today is okay. Next time maybe more.
Well done to Mariusz Pudzianowski, back on song, 13 reps, clearly better than the rest. Brian Irwin, that's a good performance with 8, but Pope with 9 and Starov with 9 means you can't separate them in the overhead lift, and there's just 1 point between the two with 1 event left. It's going to be Pope or Starov to join the all-conquering pole in the final.
So we come to the last event, the Atlas Stones. We know Pudzianowski's through, but will it be Don Pope or Michael Starov that joins him in the final? Well, just a confirmation of the rules. They've got 75 seconds to get those stones on those pillars, and those stones go up in weight. Brian Irwin was forced to go it alone again, and it would prove to be his last act of this leg. He would have to settle for 4 stones. A pretty impressive performance overall for Brian Irwin, but no place in the final for him. Mariusz Pudzianowski, as expected, is in the final. But one man who won't be going is Steve Bourgeois. That log lift, when he came last, has effectively put him out of contention. So this heat really just a matter of personal interest, really, for both these fellas. It's the next one that will have everything on the line when Starov and Pope go head-to-head. And let's keep an eye on that score clock as well. The clock, let's see how quickly the Pole can get through all these five. He is flying.
I think a world-class time here will be anything under 30 seconds. It might get through the first four quickly, but this fifth one, 160 kilos. Well, I was going to say it's Herculean. Certainly Pudzianowski didn't find it too difficult.
23.71. And Bourgeois in there as well. 32.72.
Pudzianowski just has muscles in places I don't even have places. He's just outrageously ripped, isn't he? In great shape, and all of it is functional. I think he'll be a real threat once again in the final.
But this is where it gets interesting. On the left, Michael Starov. On the right, Don Pope. Pope has a 1-point lead, so Starov knows he has to beat the American. If the American finishes ahead of Starov in this heat, then he will be going through to the final in second place. So the pressure really on Michael Starov. And of course, if Starov beats Pope, and was that a false start? Well, the officials have let it go on. He was certainly off to a flyer there, the American. And this is a very, very good start for Don Pope, and it's starting to look bad for Michael Starov.
Well, flying is the word, as Don Pope is putting in a tremendous time here. This, at the moment, is faster than Pudzianowski.
And it's going to be fast. Look at that. 22.89. Almost a full second faster than Pudzianowski. And if you're going to book your place in the final, that is the way to do it. Michael Starov was never in the hunt. Don Pope just grabbed that from the first step when he perfectly anticipated the whistle and flew towards that first stone, and there was nothing Starov could do about it. It's the American that's through. What a flyer, what a performance.
Well, that's pretty hard for Starov to take. The shorter athlete always struggles in this kind of event, the Atlas Stones, but for Don Pope, absolute poetry in motion. Just timed it perfectly in each one of the stones.
Yeah, the big man from Cleveland has earned his place in the final.
Well, you have to feel sorry for Brian Irwin. This was a really hard group for him to be in. 4 men getting all 5 stones up, and Don Pope beating Pudzianowski by almost a second.
Don, that was an incredible performance. Faster than Mariusz, the fastest in the world. You got to be excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I couldn't ask for, it was a flawless victory. I wish I could have been back-to-back with Mariusz, but, I can't ask for anything more than that. I wanted to finish on a strong note, roll me into the final, and maybe keep Mariusz awake at night instead of, me. I loaded that last stone, probably 10 times last night in bed, so it was over. It was all said and done. It was just a matter of how fast it was going to be done.
So there's confirmation of Pudzianowski and Pope being the 2 from Group 3 going through to the final. Bad luck on Starov, who was a very creditable third, and Brian Irwin picking up 8 points at the foot. And so we have 6 men qualified for the final now, 2 North Americans and 4 Europeans. It could be the best World's Strongest Man final ever. So Mariusz Pudzianowski firing a warning shot across the bows of all his fellow competitors. He's determined to win a 3rd World's Strongest Man title. And here in China at the moment, he's on fire.
And more action from the World's Strongest Man at the same time, 7:15 tomorrow night on 5. Up next tonight, a brand new series of how to be a property developer.
Chengdu is slap bang in the middle of China. It's the starting off point on the road to Tibet, and it's famous for silk, for ceramics and for sculpting, and it takes an awful lot of clay to mould a strong man.
Welcome to Chengdu and the fourth of 5 qualifying rounds at this year's Metrex World's Strongest Man. 2 more athletes to go through to the final today. Who's it going to be? Let's join Nick Horling.
Thanks very much indeed, John. Yes, it's the carry and drag to start off with, and 5 guys who on paper are very evenly matched. Jess and Paulin of Canada, Canada's strongest man, former finalist. Keeping the North American theme, the youngest man in the competition, Kevin Nee, officially New England's strongest man, big Boston Red Sox fan. The youngest to the tallest, Dave Ostland from Minnesota, 6'6". From Finland, good to see this man back again, a former World's Strongest Man champion in 2000. Jani Virtanen has come through an awful lot of injuries, back on the international scene this year and with a vengeance. And rounding out the quintet, Poland's number 3, Slavek Tojcek. Well, these fellas all know the rules. Do you, Colin?
I do indeed, and it's the fast athletes who'll do well in the first event, the carry and drag. 75 seconds to carry a 100-kilo anchor 20 meters, turn around, sprint back, and then drag a chain for 20 meters also.
Sounds easy. Try doing it. Well, that's what these 5 fellas have got to do. And it will be a fascinating competition. And look how close they all are. Well, they're all in contention here. Now comes the tough part, the drag.
An incredible turn of pace there from Slavek Tojcek, 22 stone in body weight, and his fitness is still holding out.
And on the far side, Jess and Paulin making a little bit of a surge as well, just getting past Virtanen and just taking second place at the moment, the Canadian. That was a photo finish, though, for the minor places. Slavek Tojcek in the lead, but there was a blanket finish from 2nd to 5th.
Kevin Nee trying to employ a dive for the line there, but it's Dave Ostland at 6'6", using that body weight well in the last few meters.
Well, Poland's becoming the new capital of strongman, isn't it? Tojcek winning that first event in Heat 4, fighting off the best that North America could offer. Now, Chengdu means perfect metropolis. It's the 4th biggest city in China. Millions of cars, millions of bicycles, 12 million people, and for a few days this year, a posse of strongmen.
Slavek Tojcek, Poland.
Dave Ostland, USA.
Kevin Nee, USA.
Jason Polak, Canada.
Simon Millimeter, Jan Virtanen, Finland.
The next challenge awaiting these 5 fellas, the deadlift. Still trying to catch my breath, Colin, from that blanket finish there, but let's move on. And the deadlift, just 75 seconds, and the weights range from 463 pounds to 750, maximum of 7 reps. Most reps in the fastest time wins it. And going first, the man who took the early honours, Slavek Tojcek.
Are you ready?
His first lift will be just with those 4 barrels in place.
Lift down.
Well, I've heard of roll out the barrel, but that is ridiculous, and it just gets heavier and heavier.
210 kilos, the first weight, so already 1.5 times body weight in the hands. But that goes up by some 75% by the time they get to that final barrel. And just think of the cumulative pain in the lower back as well. That doesn't help.
Well, he's through 4, but the strain starting to show for Tojcek, and can he make 5? Look at that, trying to lock those knees together. Yes, he's got 5. Now 6 is going to be a real challenge, though, for him. All right, this will be the interesting one. It looked like he was suffering a bit on that 5th lift. And yes, indeed, that next barrel was the straw, a big straw, that broke the camel's back.
Well, perhaps not the best body shape for deadlifting. His arms not particularly long, Really, you want knuckles dragging along the ground in this kind of event to stand up easier. No offense, Yanni, but he is one who has very long arms.
I was going to say, if you're going to start calling people knuckle draggers, leave me out of it. Yanni Virtanen, though. Good to see him back in business, isn't it? And he's done that first rep very easily, but let's see how he gets on when they start putting those barrels on board.
Well, all those injuries he had were to the legs, but not to the hamstrings and lower back, and that's what really gets taxed in the deadlift. So hopefully that 2-year hiatus he's had since the international scene won't affect his deadlifting.
Well, he's blasted his way through 5, and he looked better on the 5th rep than Toychek. So can he add the 6th? Yes, he can. He's just looking over to see one more to go. That 6th one looked a bit of a struggle, but if he can do this, he'll complete the set. No, he'll have to settle for 6.
Well, he's waiting there. He's got a little bit of time on the clock.
Yes.
But usually in this situation, at such a heavy weight, when you're fully pumped up in the lower back and hamstrings, it's almost impossible to hang on. Never mind the grip as well. He doesn't really have time to recover.
Can he do it? Well, what a great second effort, and he was so smart there. He saw he had plenty of time left on the clock, and he used it all up, regrouped, and he completed that 7th repetition. He's talking now to Bill Kazmaier.
Yanni, awesome performance with the barrels here in the deadlift. How did all that feel?
I feel now very good. The last one barrel it's hard, but I think I am world's strongest man and I must pull.
From the oldest man in the group to the youngest man in the competition. But for Kevin Nee, there is no shortage of confidence.
It's an honor to be the youngest person to ever come to the World's Strongest Man competition. You know, when I got the invite, I was just ecstatic. It's been my dream since I've started when I was 15 years old to be here. And here I am. I'm on cloud 9, you know. These guys are much more experienced than I am, much more developed than I am. But at the same time, it's a learning experience. It's going to be something I'll always look back on. Right now I go to Arizona State University, full-time student. I work at a bar on campus, and I got this as another job, you know, training for strongman. So it's pretty tough right now with all the stuff I have, and as we speak, I got homework to do. When I see this on TV, that's when it's going to kick in that, wow, I did it. You know, I made it, I'm there. Yeah, I'm going to be happy, but I'm a true competitor, you know. I'm not going to be completely satisfied till I win this thing. That's when I'm going to be happy.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Well, he works in a bar in his spare time, but officially he's too young to drink in the United States. Mind you, I wouldn't want to be the fella that turned him down. 20-year-old Kevin Nee.
You ready? Lift. Down.
Wonderful experience for him.
Well, still in education, and I tell you what, he could learn a lesson from Yanni Virtanen. Just unbelievable getting up those 7 reps, and I wonder whether it's put this young man off a little bit.
Well, he's looking good through 4. So this 5th one should be okay for him, the way he did that 4th one. There was the stumble there. That would suggest that 7's going to be too much for him, but can he get 6? Wow, look, there's your answer.
Before this, he was telling me he had done 750 pounds in the gym, but that was just a one-off with 6 barrels before it. Certainly this would be a huge step up in performance in his deadlifting.
And he's taken a leaf out of the Virtanen book. He's G'd up that crowd. Can he find that 7th? Well, he won't give it up, but he can't do it. A Herculean effort from the young man. 6 in 36.53. That's impressive.
Well, I think this is one of the performances of the day. Yanni Virtanen was impressive, but at this age, this tender age of 20, to have such gym strength is awesome.
Kevin, great performance with 6 barrels, and you almost got the 7th.
Thank you, Kaz. You know, I was feeling pretty good there. Deadlift's one of my strong events, so I was feeling good.
Looking at the rest of the field, does anybody scare you?
They all scare me. You kidding me? Got Yanni Virtanen, 2000 World's Strongest Man winner. Justin Pollin, multiple awards, Canada's Strongest Man this year. We got a guy from Poland, unbelievable athlete, second to Mariusz Pudzianowski. And then we got Dave Oslin, great American athlete. You know, I thought they were going to go easy on me, my first World's Strongest Man. I guess not. They put me right into the lions then.
Well, 5 lions in this heat. It really is a phenomenally strong-looking group. And safe to say, I think, no clear favourite. We've seen in some of the other groups, one man has stood out. Anyway, here's Dave Ostland. Interesting grip that the big man has.
Yeah, going for that crossover grip, it makes you feel like the bar's in a little bit closer. So the actual pivot point's closer to the body. And now Dave Ostland doesn't have big leg strength. That's one of his problems. And in each one of the groups, they have to do a powerlifting discipline, be it squat or deadlift. And I can tell you what, he's pretty happy it's deadlift.
Does it help to be 6'6" with a deadlift?
You know, it really doesn't. To be that tall is certainly a hindrance, but he does have long arms. And let's face it, Virtanen's 6'4", so no excuses.
Can he get that 6th one? It's not there yet. And then he's changing the grip. Look at that. And the change of grip has worked. But I don't think he's going to get the 7th.
Well, that was just spectacular, really. Imagine the pain on your legs. That bar's digging down in against you. I'm impressed with Ostland, a young man and another man with a lot of guts.
Absolutely right. The newly married Dave Ostland has to settle for 6. A very, very high-class deadlift all the way around, but only one winner, Jarni Virtanen, the only one to get 7 reps.
So 5 years on from being crowned world's strongest man, Virtanen, if not back to his best, he's certainly a serious contender this year. And Kevin Nee, the young pretender, is somebody to be reckoned with. And this heat could go all the way to the wire, because there's nobody here dominating events, which means that any 2 of these 5 could make it through to the final.
So all 5 men very much in contention as we go on to event number 3, the Hercules Hold. Slovak Tojcek, the first man up, and he's doing pretty well. Anything over 30 seconds, Colin, you're going to be happy with.
It's mind over matter stuff in this event. It's all about who's got the biggest heart as well as the biggest grip.
40.97 for the pole. Pretty good. Next up, the Canadian, and it really is, as you say, mind over matter. Not only physical strength, but mental toughness too. Those pillars weigh over 700 pounds between them.
Are you ready?
And they literally try to pull you apart. You've got to hold on to them for as long as you can. Now, how can Jason Paulan hang on? He's got to try and crack 40 seconds.
Well, his nickname is The Myth. He got that because supposedly he walked 100 kilometers to his first competition before he had a car. So a really tough guy and someone who wants to get ahead in strongman.
Well, this is no myth, is it? This is reality for the Canadian, and he's getting close to 30 seconds, so that's the first benchmark. Now, how long can he hang on for? And when you see this competition regularly, you know that they look good, and then suddenly, bang, they hit empty, and it goes very quickly. Well, he's managed to get past Tojcek. A minute is considered phenomenal. And he's looking relaxed, isn't he, as we get up past 50 seconds.
1:03 for the world record, and this is getting incredibly close for the Canadian.
Well, there's the minute. Oh, he was so close to a world record. That is not going to be beaten today. Surely not. He's cracked the minute.
Well, that is quite spectacular. Between him and Mariusz Pudzianowski in the international scene over the last few years, those two have been toe-to-toe in grip competitions. Very impressive.
Well, that surely has got to be 5 points. Oh, he's just woken up.
Jesse, what's your motivation when you're out there? You're playing the crowd. You got to be thinking about something that's really firing you up. What is it?
Well, my mother was really stubborn, and she gave me a big inspiration to be determined and like hold on to what you're doing. So this is what I did. I was almost falling asleep at 50 seconds, and I woke up just for finishing the minute. So I'm glad I finished.
Well, follow that. That's the challenge facing Dave Ostland at 6'6". He's very rangy. So are those long arms of his going to be an advantage or a disadvantage?
Well, the arm length shouldn't make a difference. The pillars are set for each and every athlete separately, so they're exactly the same pivot point each time. But what will make a difference, Ostlund has big hands, a little like Jason Paulin. He can wrap them around almost like straps around those thick handles.
So he made an adjustment with his stance about 5 seconds in, and he too is trying to do the old mind over matter, the serene look on his face. There's an awful lot of mind games that go on with these fellas as they try and convince themselves they're in a happy place, where in fact they're getting pulled apart. 30 seconds, but a long, long, long way to go for Dave Ostlund, and this crowd getting into it and really cheering him on. Can he crack 40? We're seeing some very good times, and I don't think he's quite hung on to beat Tojcek's time.
That right hand just slipped off a little too early. Could have hung on a few more seconds, he'd have got vital points. And there's confirmation, Dave Ostlund by just a 1/10 of a second in third.
And Kevin Nee knows what he's up against. Anything over 40 is pretty useful on the Hercules, and all three guys that have stepped up so far have cracked 40, so Kevin Nee knows it's got to be the A game here. The 20-year-old from New England with a long, long wait ahead of him. But we know how tough he is mentally. Look at that, just trying to stay in his own little zone, not think about what those pillars are doing to the arms. But he's not even halfway yet.
Well, he's enjoying looking around the crowd here, so he should as well. This is a very impressive performance. He's very rock solid. For a 20-year-old to have such a good grip is amazing.
Well, he's past the 30, closing in on 40. Can he do it? 41 will put him into second spot. There it is. Now, can he make the minute? Surely not. Look at that. So fired up, and these fans fired up with him. 50.73. This young man is proving that he belongs in this company.
Spectacular performance from the young American there, holding on firm past 40 seconds. Well, I think he just screamed a little too early, letting his power out, letting his chi out, as it were. Left hand slipped.
Well, normally you think if you're going last, you know what you've got to beat. Jason Paulin can be generous in his applause because his minute is surely going to stand, but I wonder what Jani Virtanen is thinking. He knows he's got to get past 40 seconds just to get into the minor places.
Well, one thing those injuries he's had over the last few years won't have hurt is that spectacular world-class grip that Jani Virtanen has.
Head forward.
20 seconds.
Looking solid through 20. Still a long way to go. And these fans getting into it as we clock past 30 and the tension builds. How much more has he got? 41 to get himself into third place. It's looking solid so far, but now it's starting to wobble. He's made 41, just hung on for third. What a performance we've had in the Hercules. If we'd have said that 40-something was going to finish fifth, you wouldn't have believed us, but that's how good it was. And what about Paulin cracking the minute?
And worth repeating what Nick was saying there. Who would have thought that the quality of the competition would be such that every single man would exceed 40 seconds, but topping the lot, Jason Paulin of Canada, breaking the magical minute mark, and that puts him level on points with Jani Virtanen at the top of the leaderboard at the halfway point. But it really is anybody's heat, this one, for first and second spot.
Things you never knew about China, number 4. Before the establishment of the People's Republic in 1949, not a single Chinese athlete held a world or Olympic record. Just you wait for Beijing 2008, they'll just sweep the board. Now, if you've watched the first few heats, you know we're having a real feast here in this Chinese restaurant. We began with the crab, moved on to the pig lung, then we had the cow's tongue, and now it's time for the, what's this? Squirrel.
I'm Jani Virtanen, world's strongest man 2000. Welcome back.
Well, this must be just about the closest heat in the 26-year history of World's Strongest Man. But the question now is, which of these would-be finalists has got feet of clay?
Well, never mind feet. The next test for these 5 athletes is the fingers, the Fingal fingers. First up, Slovak Tojček. Well, he had to try and negotiate as many fingers as he could. These fingers get heavier the further down the course you go. And for Tojček, knowing just how close these 5 men are, he knew that he had to put in a superhuman effort, but he got close with the 4th, but close was not good enough, and 3 fingers, disappointing. So moving on, it's Jani Virtanen and the Canadian Jason Paulan up next. And it really is amazing, isn't it? You can go from first to last in one event, or indeed from last to first in one event.
Well, I just can't believe how close it is here, and this event might split them. 5 fingers, first one 220 kilos, the last one 300 kilos.
And there aren't many that can topple all 5. But let's see who can make their move here in this 3rd competition of the group stage. They're both off to an absolute flyer, aren't they? Well, here's the 3rd finger. This is where the Pole had his difficulties, but so far no problems at all for Paulan and Virtanen. But now, number 4, Virtanen still going very well, got good momentum on his side, just takes the lead as well, but Paulan's right with him. Are both these fellas going to knock off 5? Well, this is really going to sort out the big boys here. And they're both flying. And we've got a photo finish on the 5th finger, and it's Paulan that's done it.
Well, Virtanen there just going for the shoulder shunting method, just couldn't keep his arms up. It's a little like painting your kitchen at home. Up at the ceiling level, your arms just get fully pumped with blood. You can't even hold them up there, especially not with 300 kilos on the hands.
But what a performance, Colin. Both men nailing all 5, and this fella is in danger of winning 2 competitions in a row. 44.30, just ahead of Virtanen on 48.24. Next up, it's the 2 Americans, young Kevin Nee against his compatriot here, Dave Ostland, who in his spare time is a real estate broker.
If you would have told me a year ago I'd be a world's strongest man, I wouldn't have believed you. It's unbelievable for me. It's, you know, guys that I've watched ever since I've been following the sport, and now I'm right there with them, competing alongside, and it's a dream of mine. It's been a long time coming. Well, my size definitely helps me. You know, I'm 6 feet 7 inches tall, so it's taken me a while to fill out my frame. You know, people still ask me if I play basketball. You know, strongman, it's just individual. It's all on you. You know, if you mess up, you don't want to blame it yourself, and if you do well, you know, the reward's all yours.
Yeah. So Dave Ostland is the same height as Peter Crouch, but there the similarities end. Kevin Nee, a mere shrimp at 6'2", but nobody works the crowd quite like this fella. And there is Dave Ostland. Imagine him in Liverpool's forward line. And they know what they have to do. They've got to get all 5, and they've got to do it in under 44 seconds. So which one of these 2 Americans handles the fingers best of all? It's the big man Ostland that's got the early lead.
Well, 2 men already done 5 here, and a couple of years ago, when these were first introduced to World's Strongest Man, almost nobody did 5.
Yes, Ostland's tearing through him. Young Kevin Nee looks like he's really struggling, and just as I say, Ostland's tearing through him. He has a stumble as well. 44.3 for all 5, remember, but Ostland's certainly slowed down. I don't think he's going to trouble the top 2, and Nee is going to struggle to get 4 done. Here goes Ostland, 44.3 to beat. Is he going to make it? Is he going to do it? Oh, it was so close. He's done it, I think, by less than a second. That is extra special from Dave Ostland, and Kevin Nee has to bow out at 3.
Well, Ostland really utilising his height well there at 6'6", very long armed. It's a big help on those long fingers.
You're built perfect for the fingers. Tell us about that technique.
Well, I like to use the long reach. I'm not as strong with my pressing, so I just try to lock my arms in, let my legs and back do the work.
You think it's possible you can get to the final?
It's possible. I'm going to the final.
Good luck.
Thanks, kids.
Well, anything's possible in this heat because Jani Virtanen, perhaps disappointed to come third there, that really has thrown the leaderboard wide open. That was a crucial victory for Ostland, albeit by a pretty narrow margin over Paulin. And when you look at the leaderboard with just 2 events to go, while you would say it would be 2 from 3 at the top, Tojcek and Ni are by no means out of it.
So for event number 5, the log lift, the show moves to downtown Chengdu in this busy shopping area where literally thousands of people have congregated to see who can do something very simple. All you've got to do in 75 seconds is lift 286 pounds of wood over your head. The most reps wins. It's as simple as that. And for Kevin Ni in 5th place, or tied for 4th technically should we say, he knows, both he and Sławek Tojcek in fact know that they've got to have a big finish. Just one more event after this. And a kind of benchmark, Colin, you'd say 8 lifts is pretty good. Anything more is a real bonus, but you got to try and find 8.
Well, I tell you what, just doing one of these is pretty impressive, but indeed, if you want to be world class, I'd say anything over about 6. We've seen Pudzianowski in a previous heat doing 13, but he is just about the best in the world at this, and already Ni struggling. That left tricep of his having real problems locking out.
Yes, he's got 4. Now he can take a break because he's got 75 seconds, but so often that we've seen in the past, these athletes, it's how many they get on that first set that tends to be their benchmark. They may get 1 or 2 after that, but you don't see him racing off and doing another 4 if they've lifted only 4, and Ni somehow has found a 5th, but a 6th is going to be very difficult. And he's in a lot of trouble, and he's waved it off. 5, he'll be disappointed.
Well, he had to waste a lot of time there locking out the triceps, only an inch away, but he didn't get the call from the referee. Let's have a look at that last rep one more time. Big use of the legs, that's perfect. But you see there, the arms aren't quite locked out, just like Olympic lifting. You have to have them straight.
Jani Virtanen is in a 3-way log jam, excuse the pun, with only 2 to qualify. 1 point separates the top 3. And just adrift from them, Sławek Tojcek. But Tojcek will tell you that this is one of his favourite events. If he can make a move here, he too could get in among the places.
Take your grip.
Kevin Ni, you would suspect, is in a lot of trouble now. This race for 2 places has probably come down to 4, and here's 2 of the main contenders.
Doing this is a little like having a grown man in either hand. It is that hard. And I have to say, body types, Sławomir Tojcek, much better build, more like a prop in rugby, while Virtanen more like a second row, very long-armed.
Well, Tojcek's the man that needs the big score here because he is adrift of the big 3. He's going well. Virtanen had a really big wobble there. The 5th one has counted, but Tojcek already up to 7, but now he has to draw breath. And I think Virtanen's going to follow suit as well. So important that Tojcek gets a 1st or at worst a 2nd place here just to give himself a chance with 1 competition remaining, 1 event, should I say, remaining in the competition. Virtanen looking for 6. Can he lock those elbows? No, he can't. Tojcek on 8. Looks like he's had enough. Is 8 going to be enough? Virtanen has to settle for 5.
I think Virtanen won't be happy with that. He's trained hard at this. He knows shoulders is one of his weak spots. So throughout the winter in Finland, leading up to the summer, he's really been training at his tricep power as well. And look at that, just letting him down at the last minute.
So these 2 fellas know what Virtanen, in particular, has managed. 5. So Jason Paulin, whose lead over his closest 2 rivals is just 1 point. He knows what he's got to do. And the big fella, big Dave Ostland. Oh, it's not fair, is it? Look at the length of those arms. Look how far that log's going to have to go. It's going to go into orbit once the 6'7" Dave Ostland gets it moving. They know the benchmark that's set by Tojcek is 8. They know that Ni and Virtanen have 5. If they can get past 5, they can consolidate themselves as the top two. Well, Ostland's up and running early, Paulin's following him, but look at those big, long arms of Dave Ostland's.
Well, if you're a gambling man, you'd back Paulin here, but I have to say he's really messing around there, putting it on his head. Not quite getting a drive with his legs either, and so far this has been a pretty poor effort for the first blast with the log.
It certainly is. Look at this. Paulin is all over the place. Absolute disaster this for the Canadian. He looks like he's going to finish last, and that lead of his is going to evaporate, and Ostland's trying to make something happen. Will they give him 4? Yes, they do, but he desperately needs another one, the big American. Paulin just looks like he's gone completely. Can Ostland improve his points tally by joining 2 others on 5? Paulin's gone. If there was a referee here, as in boxing, they'd throw in the towel, I think, to save himself from unnecessary punishment, and I think Ostland's done as well. That is a turn up for the books, and it's going to make the leaderboard very interesting indeed. Sławek Tojcek will take maximum points, and he's right back in the mix now.
He certainly is. There's confirmation that the Pole with 8 reps, managing to outdo everybody else and gaining maximum points there. Virtanen thought that 5 was going to be disastrous, but in fact it's not. 1 event to go though. Could you have staged it better? Just 1.5 points between the top 4. It's set up for a brilliant finale.
There's nothing that speaks world's strongest man like the Atlas Stones. You want to test the manhood? Well, you got it. This group is bunched up so tight, it's all going to come down to this, the 5th stone.
And the rules for the Atlas stones very simple. There's 75 seconds to get 5 stones of ascending weight onto 5 columns. Fastest time wins. And for Kevin Nee, well, it's amazing that he's in 5th place but still has a chance, but he's the only one of the 5 whose destiny is not in his own hands. But the way Nee can get through is by winning this event and hoping Virtanen comes 2nd. If that happens, Nee will qualify in 2nd place. So there's plenty on the line for the young American. And I think whatever happens for him though, Colin, he will look back on this as a tremendous learning experience.
Just fabulous, really. 20 years old, and just to be in the mix in the final event of a heat of the World's Strongest Man is a really impressive feat.
Can't afford to slip up. Good through 3. It's the 5th one that really separates the men from the boys. How's he doing? It's looking good. 25.37. He's given himself a chance. Well, he could do no more than that, and look at these fans. They love him. They've really taken to this fella.
That final stone just plopped on there, 160 kilos, made to look like 60. Very impressive.
So Nee has gone out and established his credentials. Next up, Sławek Tojcek. And big Janne Virtanen. Virtanen basically just has to avoid a disaster, and he'll be through. But 3 men were level on points before this, so the pressure really on Tojcek, whose tremendous performance in the log lift has given him a chance. And Virtanen's going well, so he's looking good, and these 2 fellas are blasting their way through so far as well, aren't they? A slip there from Tojcek. He's in trouble.
Virtanen gave so much in that deadlift though, and I saw him warming up, touching his back, trying to get some deep heat into it, and he's managed to get it on. Hasn't hindered him in the end, and for Virtanen, that guarantees him a place in the final.
And Tojcek at 27.07 may well be done and dusted. 24.67 for Janne Virtanen.
Well, look at the height of the man. He doesn't have to lift it anywhere near as high as someone like Kevin Nee. Big advantage.
So Virtanen, we know, is through. Who's going to join him? Tojcek's time, remember, 27.07. If either of these men beat that, they are through. but they're racing against each other as well. Whoever comes second out of these two will not qualify. They are dead level on 15 points. Only one of them can come through, and to do it, they've got to beat 27.07.
Well, Ostlund made the claim of being the best stone lifter in North America earlier in the season. The only head-to-head they had, Paulin won.
There's his new wife, Kate Ostlund, looking on, and you saw Sławek Tojcek with his own stopwatch, 27.07, the time to beat. It is winner take all now for the Atlas Stones. They're against themselves, they're against each other, and they're against the clock. And Ostlund is flying 27.07, remember, the American. That's what he's aiming for. Paulin is struggling. Look at Ostlund. Look at Ostlund. 20.03. That is a new world record.
Well, qualifying in style as well. But where was Paulin? Questions have to be asked. In that log he struggled, and then again in the stones. This was all about Dave Ostlund.
Well, if you're going to qualify for a world final, do it with a world record.
Totally unbelievable. 20.03 seconds. That is the world record. You're a first-timer to World's Strongest Man. That was incredible. It's got to make you totally happy.
Oh yeah, I'm ecstatic right now. You know, to do the stones and make the final and get a world record, it feels great.
Is this a lifelong ambition for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Ever since I saw it on TV when I was really young, you know, I just wondered if I could even hang with these guys someday, and now here I am going to the final.
An amazing performance, and the big question, I suppose, when is somebody going to break the 20-second barrier for the Atlas Stones? Ostlund's victory taking him to the final, and he'll be joined there by one of the veterans.
Yanni, great performance. You're headed to the finals again. Do you think you can repeat like you did in 2000 as World's Strongest Man champion?
Of course, but I try my best, and let's see what happens.
Do you feel good enough to beat Mariusz Pudzianowski in the finals?
Who? Say again?
Mariusz Pudzianowski, you know, from Poland.
I don't...
He's the 2 times World's Strongest Man. Mariusz Pudzianowski, the guy with the huge muscles. Are you ready to take him on in the final?
I heard one time, but I beat him. Sorry.
Well, good luck, because you're going to meet him in the finals. I hope you're feeling fit.
Thank you.
Well, not so much little and large, more large and large, but there's confirmation that Virtanen and Ostlund are the men who've made it through to the final from Group 4, and so we now have 8 finalists confirmed for this year's Metrex World's Strongest Man. 3 from North America, 5 from Europe. What a fantastic lineup that is. So just one more heat to go in this year's competition. We'll see you next time. But here in Jinli Market in downtown Chengdu, have we just seen the making of this year's World's Strongest Man?
Well, we'll find out when we're back with John for that last heat tomorrow at the same time, 7:15. Next tonight, we take to the skies with Warplane. That's coming up after a 5 News update.
The peace and tranquility of a Chengdu afternoon here in central China is about to be broken. This is the calm before the storm.
Hello! Ricky! You're still alive? Yeah! Come on now! Yeah! Icelandic power! Polska góra! Finally!
Terry Hollands from England is the sole representative left from the UK after Brian Irwin and Mick Gosling failed to qualify from their respective heats. So can he give us something to shout about? Let's find out with our commentary team led by Nick Halling.
Thanks, John. Yes, we're all going to wish Terry Hollands the very best of luck, but here's the fellas he's up against. Guanyang Li, China's strongest man, and he will be guaranteed massive home support. Well, on paper, he's a little out of his depth. Carl Waiatoa, a former bodybuilder from New Zealand, who these days makes his home in Waterford in the Republic of Ireland. There's another one of those big fellas from Eastern Europe, the Estonian Tarmo Mitt, who registers 320 pounds on the scales. And that's after he's had a workout. This will be the form horse of this group, Jesse Marunde from Washington State. And last but certainly by no means least, from Dartford in Kent, 390 pounds of Terry Hollands. Well, first up, it's the medley.
90 seconds in which to go 20 meters with an anchor, link it to a chain and then drag it, running back, picking up a weight, 225 kilos, and carrying it the full 20 meters. Take your position.
Always sounds so easy when you describe it, Colin, but it's easy sitting here, and actually doing it is another matter. Now, let's see who gets the fast start. Well, Terry Hollands is off very well. The big man from England is first to the chain, but he's not first to make the attachment. The American Marunde's gone in front of him. So Holland, and Hollands is down. Now he's going to lose valuable time there, and look at Marunde, there's the difference. He's pacing himself. Hollands was just snatching at that.
Well, the Chinese athletes just linked up his ankle to the chain. All the athletes were nervous about that little bit, and look at Marunde, already showboating, pumping his arm in the air.
Oh, that was going back in time to Steve Ovett in his prime, wasn't it? Celebrating right there before he'd done anything. Now, 495 pound of cold steel will wipe the smile off Marunde's face, and big Terry Hollands has jumped in front once again. And Gan Yang Li is finding this very hard work indeed. Meanwhile, talking of hard work, look at these fellas, and look who's coming up. Tarmo Mitt's making his move as well. The Americans dropped to third, and Mitt is flying.
But in all the previous heats, only one man has finished this 20-meter course. That was Mariusz Pudzianowski, 2 times world's strongest man. So don't expect any fireworks here. I think these guys will be lucky to get much over 10 meters.
I think Mitt might have just done enough. Now the American makes his move again, and Terry Hollands is looking around to see if he can just hang on to third. Terry looks like he's done. And can Mitt steal first place from the American? This is quite a battle here. Oh, look at this, Marunde's timed it perfectly.
Well, a particularly brutal first event for these guys to start with. But Jesse Marunde, very explosive and very confident. You know, he's grown over an inch since the last time we saw him at World's Strongest Man, and put on 30 pounds in body weight. So an athlete really coming into his prime.
Yes, Terry Hollands, nearest the camera there, started fast, but this was the guy who paced it the best. Jesse Marunde from the United States, and he's talking now to Bill Kazmaier.
Jesse, great starts. Any worries in that race?
No, I was pacing myself the whole way. I wanted to do just enough to win, so I kept Tarmo right up there with me, just so I could beat him by just enough. I didn't want to waste any energy.
You look in great shape this year.
Thank you very much. I've been training hard.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Training hard and using lots of gel, and it's working. Jesse Marunde is the leading light for the Americans in this year's competition. And Terry Hollands, that's a good third spot, and he could be a serious player come the end of this heat. Now, talking about things that are big, this is the biggest stone sculpture of a Buddha in the world, 71 meters tall. It's the Lushan Buddha. Now, for the local spectators, something special to shout about in Heat 5, because the first ever Chinese athlete to compete is in these 5.
Gu Yanli, China.
Terry Hollands, England.
Tarmo Mitt, Estonia.
Carl Waiatoa, New Zealand.
Jesse Marunde, USA.
So next for the 5 men, the giant log lift. And this really is another one of those very tough disciplines. You've got 75 seconds to get as many repetitions as you can with that 840-pound log Well, the actual weight of the lift is 287, but that's still daunting enough. Karl Waiatoa managed 6, and Guyan Lee, despite this audience behind him, just 3. Next up, Terry Hollands. And Terry will certainly be thinking, Colin, in terms of hitting double figures for this event.
Well, at nearly 6'6" and 30 stone body weight, he is a giant, but the height really works against him. We've seen that before in log pressing. Long arms means a very long way to go with the log.
Yes, it's the short, compact squat fellas that seem to do well here. Well, Terry's at 3, but not looking entirely happy, is he? Oh, no, look at that. He's going to have to take a breather at 3. And it's a little shake of the head there, as if to say he's really suffering. Now, this would be a surprise if Hollands really suffers this badly.
Well, coming into this contest, when he realized his events in the heats to get through to the final, this was his bogey event. This was the one he wasn't looking forward to. Great stone lifter, impressive deadlifter, but overhead, he knows there's questions to be asked of him.
Well, he's done enough to avoid last place. But Terry Hollands will be saying, I wish there was a few more of those in the tank, but there just wasn't anything. So next up is Tarmo Mitt, Estonia's strongest man. Knows that his target is 6. That's what Karl Waiatoa managed to log. The New Zealander. And let's see what this fella can do. That's looking a very, very positive start.
Blasting them out. He, of course, has a bit of a background in Olympic lifting. Very explosive. So many of these Eastern Europeans do. You don't win 5 Estonian championships without being something special.
And there's double figures without even a stop. Now he pauses to draw breath, because he knows that coming next is Jesse Marunde, and he'll want to set this bar very high for the American. 12 may be it. Well, he's having a look. Is there another one in the tank? Oh, look at that. Tremendous effort. There's plenty more. Oh, no, just the one. I thought he was going to go to 14 there, but he's set the target for Jesse Marunde.
Well, we've seen in previous heats, 15 was the very best. And that was done by Mark Philippi and Boris Haraldsson, 2 men with incredible shoulder power. So for this tall Estonian, he's really laid down the law for Jesse Marunde.
The last time we saw you in the giant log press was in Malaysia in 2002. You were great then. Have you improved?
Yeah, the last 3 years I've been training very hard, so my overhead strength is up maybe 50 kilos, so I think I can do 14 reps to beat Tarmo's 13.
So a confirmation of Tarmo Mitt's tally, 13 reps. That would win an awful lot of tournaments, but is it going to be enough to beat Jesse Marunde, who we know is certainly capable of getting into the teens on a good day? Now, let's see what he can do.
Take your position.
This is pretty much a one-horse race at the moment. Waiatoa's 6 is still second, and I think Marunde is going to blast past 6. The question is, can he get to 13?
6. Arms and legs in perfect unison there. Marunde really giving everyone a demonstration. I think that 14 is possible, maybe more.
Well, this is looking sensational. He hasn't even had to stop yet, and Mitt's looking as if to say, well, what do I have to do? Oh, look at that. That is class. That is confidence.
Well, the question has to be asked, just how many could he have done there? Showboating at 13 to equal, and then going on one leg with 130 kilos above your head on 14.
Well, there's some mind games at work here. Jesse Marunde, not only is he posturing and strutting, he's also putting down a little marker to the other 4 guys in this competition. You can't beat me, guys. I'm better than all of you.
Jesse, you beat Tarmo today with a 14. It looked pretty easy for you.
Well, it wasn't easy, but it was good enough. I maybe had a couple more in me. Maybe could have beat the record, but I think it was smart just to do one more than I have to. Save some strength in the event I make the finals. I got to go up against Mariusz in a pressing event there.
Marunde and Pudzianowski have had some amazing duels head-to-head in so many varying events, and Marunde looks in good form. Here's the leaderboard after 2 events. He's got a 2-point cushion over the rest. But Terry Hollands could be a dark horse to watch out here, and the Chinese fans will be hoping for an improved performance from Lee.
Next up, the deadlift. All you got to do is lift as many barrels as you possibly can. Sounds simple, but it's not.
7 lifts in total, 75 seconds in which to do it. Starting weight 463 pounds, up to 750 if you make it to the 7th lift.
Well, Tarmo Mitt was the first to go. And just to show you how difficult it is, getting 7 repetitions. The big Estonian managed 4, but that was it. So next up, Guyan Li, and it's safe to say that there is no great tradition of strongman in China, but the Chinese people have certainly taken to this event, and for somebody like Guyan Li, this is a new experience. He's here for the experience. No one seriously expects him to get through, and how much he's learning from it.
Well, he's got the weight of all of China watching him, and he's a very brave man to do this. A taxi driver by trade, former bodybuilder. You can see he's got a great physique. But has he got the kind of strength that the powerlifters have?
Listen to those fans. 3, but that was a struggle. Can he make 4? He can't beat Tarmo Mitt's time. He's just looking to see if he can get 4, though.
Well, you know, this is already getting into the territory of world-class powerlifting, so I'm impressed already. Just living with the likes of Tarmo Mitt in a competition like deadlift is very impressive.
Can he get 4? No, he can't. That's a shame, but as you say, Colin, that's not shabby. 3 reps is not an insignificant tally at all.
And representing China for the first time ever in the World's Strongest Man, Guyan Li has done a good performance.
Next up, big Terry Hollands from Dartford, and a man who's just about as wide as the Dartford Tunnel itself.
Spent 2 years playing rugby for Harlequins under 21s. Played about 20 matches for them. And rugby's obviously a team sport, so you're relying on your teammates a lot. In strongman, there's a lot more camaraderie. Guys all sort of help each other out a lot more. For England to win World's Strongest Man, I think it will just take an exceptional talent, a lot of hard work and a lot of training. Remember, Jeff Cape's doing quite well, and Gary Taylor doing well, and it'd be nice to see some British guys pushing up there now. Come through and do it.
Take your position.
Well, Terry Hollands, of course, the last of 3 British athletes trying to make this final of the World's Strongest Man. Brian Irwin and Mick Gosling failed, and Hollands is in quite a dogfight here to try and secure 2nd spot if indeed Jesse Marunde does indeed take the lead, which is what the form guide would suggest. He's looking good here so far.
Well, for a man who's done not very much weight training in the gym, he really is a good deadlifter. Supposedly in one of the first times he ever went into a gym, he pulled over 600 pounds, so a real natural.
And he takes the lead here. 5 reps. Can he put another one in? The time was good as well, but he needs to find another rep if he's going to force Marunde to bring out his best, and he's going for it, and Big Terry could be getting it here. This would be some achievement to get 6, nearly there.
Down!
He got it, and he knows that he put absolutely everything into that, and very sensibly said, I know when I'm beaten, but 6 reps for Big Terry Hollands, very impressive.
Well, for a man so tall, that's great deadlifting. Has a long way to pull that bar, much further than the Chinese athlete. You can see they're resting it virtually on his thighs. Has to finally pull the hips through at the end, shoulders back, gets the green light.
So Terry Hollands in the lead at the moment, but Jesse Marunde and this fella here, Carl Waiatoa, to come.
Take your position.
Another fella, this with a bodybuilding background.
Lift. Came over to Britain's Strongest Man and got 2nd there. One thing bodybuilders have is the ability to do repetitions and take pain. And in Britain's Strongest Man, he easily won the deadlift for repetitions.
Well, he's through 4 without any difficulty. And Terry Holland's 6 could be under threat here because the time is good as well. And he's going to have about 20 seconds to try and get this 6th rep up to move inside of Terry Holland's. Now, can he get 6? He does, and he's smashed Terry Holland's time. So he goes into the lead. The question is, can he pull the lot out? Waiatoa really gritting his teeth and everything else. The knee's wobbling, but he's going to get the lock. 48-32, and he's done all 7 reps.
Just a spectacular display of strength from Waiatoa. The New Zealander can be extremely proud with that, and I tell you what, that is laying down the gauntlet to all of the others. What can Jesse Marunde do to reply?
Carl, do you realize you shocked a lot of people doing all of those?
Well, I shocked myself. It seemed easier than expected. So watching all the other competitors, it was a little bit hard for them. It was easy for me.
Carl, you're representing New Zealand, but you live in Ireland. Will the people back home be watching you today?
Well, it's a surprise for everyone. They don't know I'm representing New Zealand, the world's strongest man. But hi to my family and everyone back in Ireland.
You're in great shape. Keep it up.
Thanks.
Well, Jesse Marunde knows what he's got to do. Not only has he got to get all 7 reps, but he's got to beat the clock as well, because Carl Waiatoa clocking 48-32. So the New Zealander, or is he Irish? I'm not really sure these days. Well, whatever it is, whatever flag he's flying under, Carl Waiatoa has really set a target here for Marunde. So he can't hang around. Waiatoa watches, everybody else watches. Can Marunde just blast his way through this 7 set?
Well, Marunde not famed for his deadlifting. I think if it's between deadlifting and squatting, he'd probably choose the squat. But that's in the other heats, and already starting to groan a little bit on the 4th one.
Yes, this is looking good for Carl Waiatoa, because Marunde's done. And he knows. He knew when he was beaten. He did 4. And it was a fast time. He put everything into just getting those reps in.
He's a canny competitor, is Jesse Marunde. He's kind of pacing himself, knowing that he wants to keep plenty in the bag for the final, assuming, of course, that he gets there. That was a good performance by Terry Holland, and it puts him right in the mix. Even though Marunde's 3 points clear, it's anybody's guess who's going to come second here.
Things you never knew about China, number 5. The first Disney World in China opened just a couple of weeks ago, and another one's planned for Shanghai in a few years' time. Well, a real feast continues. Crab, pig, cow, squirrel, and today's delicacy is... what on earth is that?
Welcome back to the 5th and last qualifying group at this year's World's Strongest Man. With 3 events remaining, can Terry Hollands from Kent in England become the first British athlete to qualify for this year's final? He's going to be last to go in the truck pull, still in the hunt for one of those 2 remaining qualifying places. Let's find out what's happened so far with Nick Halling.
Well, first up was Guyan Li from China, and he had a hard time with the truck pull. Technique all over the place, just not getting his back low enough, and he would have to settle for 18.7 meters. Next up, Carl Waiatoa. Could he build on his previous victory? Could he get something going with the truck pull? Well, the good news for Carl was he completed the course. He would just have to wait and see if his time was going to be good enough at 45.34 to get amongst the leaders. Jesse Marunde, his turn to keep on trucking. 16,000 pounds that thing weighs. And in many ways, the hardest thing is just to get your momentum going in the first place. And Colin, there is just so much technique to this. It's not just a case of just pulling on that rope, is it?
Well, you need to be an all-round athlete. You have to have body weight as well. Driving with the legs, pulling with the arms, and getting the correct body posture. Now, Marunde, a master at this. Look at his body, absolutely flat with the rope there. So each one of those 320 pounds is being used and utilised, driving that truck forward. And I tell you what, he's got those clever climbing boots on as well, helping him stick to the ground. You saw the Chinese athletes struggling badly, slipping all over the place.
Yes, it is slick. There has been rain in Chengdu, and he's obviously checked out the conditions, Marunde, and he's looking on course to get past Karl Waiatoa as well. Comfortably, 37.6. He goes into the lead.
Time. Yeah!
And he's happy with that, isn't he? First thing he wanted to know, how quick was it? He liked that. Tarmo Mitt waits his turn.
Being in the world's strongest man, it's most important competition for me. It means for me very much. It's my dream. In the Baltic countries, the sport is very popular and the level of strongmen is very high. I want to first get in the final and then we see what's going to be happening later. I know that two guys is going to final and I want to be one of these two.
So what can Tarmo Mitt do? 37.6, the time to beat. And he'll also have an eye on Karl Waiatoa's time of 45.34. If he can get inside of that, it will be a bonus. Taking very short little stutter steps there, the Estonian.
Those short steps just helping him drive away, getting over that initial inertia. He's perhaps not quite as athletic as Jesse Marunde, but very experienced. He won't have missed a trick here.
He's going to struggle to get inside 37, but the secondary target is that 35, or that 45.34 of the New Zealanders. In fact, he's going to get close to 37. It's been a great second half from him. It's going to be really close. And he's done it. Well, where did he pull that last 20 metres out of it? Looked like he was going to be settling for second here, and he had put on a real sprint finish.
Like everything, looks can be deceiving. Those short steps were driving him forward before he strode out. And Marunde will be bitterly disappointed.
He's pipped by half a second. It's tight at the top, and Terry Hollands steps up knowing what he's got to beat here. And the feeling in the British camp was if Terry Holland is going to make a real go of getting a top two spot, he's got to get maximum points in the truck pull. And it's going to be hard for him. 37.07 to win it.
Well, you're starting to feel that Marunde's playing games a little, holding back in each event. I doubt he'll pay for this, so he's starting to build up a good points lead. But this man can't mess around. He's got to drive forward here, use that rugby background, those big legs and that body weight of his. 30 stone pulling that truck, that surely helps.
He's got a chance, Colin. It's going to be mighty close. We're going to be getting those stopwatches out here. Look at him going. He's got every chance. He's going to do it. 34.07. He's won it by 3 seconds, and it was a must-win truck pull for Terry Hollands, and boy, that makes things interesting.
Well, there should be a sigh of relief all over England there, because that was a huge result from the big man from Kent. Perhaps not that good a technique, but when you got body weight like that, it's a big help, isn't it?
Yes, Terry Hollands has really put himself in the mix now.
Well, he may be tired, but he's delighted with that victory. 3 clear seconds ahead of Tarmo Mitt. Marunde still biding his time in third place, but well done to Terry Hollands.
You actually won the event. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's fantastic. To win an event at World's Strongest Man's a great experience. Really pleased. It couldn't be better, really.
Mick Gosling did great in the Hercules hold. You Brits are doing really well out here.
Watching Mick doing the Hercules hold really inspired me to go on and put in a good time.
Well, Mick Gosling, with that magnificent performance in the Hercules hold, nonetheless failed to qualify for the final. Can Terry Hollands go one better? He's just 2 points behind Marunde. 2 events to go.
I'm here at the Fingal Fingers, the 5th event of 6 for Group 5. These 5 fingers may decide the final 2 spots in the World's Strongest Man final. All athletes will be able to power their way through finger number 1 and 2. But by finger number 3, their bodies will begin to boil. Fingers 4 and 5 are all about desire. None of these guys have made the World's Strongest Man final before. Now's their time to step it up and show they belong.
Well, the rules for the single fingers, 75 seconds to turn all 5 of them over, preferably before your body starts to boil. Well, Guyan Li has to go it alone, but he's not alone, is he? Every single person in this audience will be roaring him on. And realistically, this fella's not going to the final and he knows it, but this is about experience. This is about putting China on the map as far as world's strongest man is concerned, and he's not letting his country down, is he? But he's got to push it and work harder.
Well, the bad news is this event is all about experience. It's all about height as well, and under 6 foot tall, it won't help. Lucky to get that first one over, and this second one is a big increase in weight. It'll be a battle, and be very good if he gets it over.
Well, he's done 2, and he's pleased. Now, anything else from here is a bonus. Never mind the clock. This is about Guyan Li and how far can he push himself.
Going for the shoulder shunting method. Makes it a lot heavier, very sore on the shoulders. You're much closer to the pivot point, so the weight really driving down on you.
Again, in world standards, 2 is a disappointment, but how can you say this fella's failed? He's done the exact opposite. He is flying the flag for his country with some style.
Well, it's a bit like going into the high jump at the Olympic Games and the starting height being 2 meters 10. You still have to be a world-class high jumper, and that first finger, believe you me, you have to be a world-class weightlifter to do it. So to do 2 is impressive.
But Tamo Mitt won't be settling for 2, and he can't. There is quite a little battle brewing for the top 2 spots, with even Jesse Marunde in front, not quite in the clear yet, and Karl Waiatoa in 4th place, just 2 points out of a top 2 spot. So 4 men, it seems, battling for 2 places. Well, we always say 5 fingers is a rarity, but then we've seen time after time in these group stages, somebody just gets through them like a dose of salts. Can one of these 2 fellas turn all 5 over? The good start has been made by Mitt, and that wasn't a very good technique from Karl Waiatoa, just slipping with his handling on the very first finger.
Well, big nerves for both of these guys. Waiatoa is now playing catch-up, and that's not a good position to be in.
But he has caught up, Colin, look at this. And now he's getting his rhythm going. Still the Estonian just in front, but Waiatoa right with him, and now is when the nerve endings start to tingle and the pain starts to kick in, but Waiatoa is still going.
Well, remember what happened in the deadlift. That bodybuilding background gave him the fitness, the conditioning to manage a lot of pulls, but there you go, he's gone. That's a surprise, perhaps.
And his technique really let him down there. He was flying and then actually allowed that finger to drop onto his shoulder. So that was a painful lesson there for Karl Waiatoa. As for Mitt, well, this is painful. He's got 15 seconds to try and turn this 5th one through. And he too goes for the shoulder, but the clock's ticking. He has 5 seconds. Is he going to make it? He's close, but the clock's going to beat him. Oh, so unlucky.
Well, as you get past that 45-degree point, it starts to get lighter there. He just made it over, but didn't have enough to give it the final drive. You have to feel sorry for Tamo Mitt there. That was ever so close.
Well, if it was an 80-second time limit, he would have got all 5. But the clock just laughed in his face. That's tough for Tamo.
Terry, you won the last event. How do you feel your place is going to be in this one?
Not too sure, really. It's the first time I've done it, so hoping for something good. Apparently it's a tall man's event, so quite tall myself, so fingers crossed it'll be a good one.
Well, Terry Holland's hoping for the best, and he's got Jesse Marunde next to him, so he's going to have a pace setter. He's going to be chasing here because Marunde is strong at the fingers, but both these fellas know what they've got to do. If they can get 5, they guarantee the top 2 finish.
The experience difference here is enormous. Holland's a much older man, But Marunde has been doing this since he was about 16, so virtually 10 years in the bank in strongman.
And as we saw with Karl Waiatoa, there's so much technique to this, and the technique from the American, absolutely sensational.
37 seconds, the world record in this, and he's got over 20 seconds in which to beat that.
Yes, he really is setting a blistering pace. And on the far side, Big Terry's going okay, but he's slowed right down again. This is a wily old campaigner. It's not about world records or anything else for Jesse Marunde. It's about pacing himself. Terry's doing a very solid job. 4 down, and Terry's having a look around as if to say, well, what do we do now? And that is typical Marunde. He knows that that was enough for first place, so why bother with a 5th finger?
Well, Estonian Tarmo Mitt gave a full 75 seconds of effort, didn't he? And I think for Hollands, that too was quite a clever thing to do. But Marunde, wow, not only is he young, fit, strong, but wise too.
Jesse, you just smoked the first 4 and stopped. Is there a plan going on there?
Yeah, well, I knew Terry only had to do 4 fast to beat Tarmo's time. And if I did 4 faster, then I beat Terry's time. So, you know, when I saw him beat Tarmo, I knew what I had to do.
One event coming up, the Stones. You feeling pretty good, Terry?
Yeah, I know I've got a good chance of finishing them. I know Tarmo's quick, but if I can claim 2nd place, I know I'm going through.
Marunde deciding that 4 fingers was enough, and he's kind of confirmed at the top of the leaderboard here. But for Terry Hollands, tantalisingly close to that elusive place in the final. Jesse Marunde is confirmed as the 4th North American to make it through to the final, but will there be a Brit in there with him? Terry Hollands needs to come in the top 2 in the final event to make it.
So the Atlas Stones, they start small, relatively speaking, and they get heavier and heavier. 75 seconds to put all 5 on top of their plinths. And I said it starts small. 220 pounds? Maybe not. Well, Gu Yanlin, it was all about experience, this event for him. And he's done himself proud. 2 stones for Gu. And he's just happy to be here. But now the serious business. Jesse Marunde knows that he's done enough to book himself a place in the final. So will he pace himself? Karl Waiatoa realistically knows that he cannot qualify. But he's good at the stones, is Waiatoa, and if he has a fast time, that could make it very interesting when Hollands and Mitt go head-to-head.
Fascinating to see exactly what Marunde will do here. He is a great stone lifter. And will he show off to all the others, saying, hey, I'm ready for the final? But I have to say, Waiatoa is going pretty quick too.
Marunde could be on course for another world record here. That is fast. Just outside Dave Ostland's world record, but my goodness me, 20.41.
Well, it'll be a huge feat if Waiatoa can get up that 5th stone on the first time of asking. Hasn't managed that. But the world's strongest man, the final stone, 160 kilos, is a huge ask.
And look at the camaraderie here. Look who's leading the cheers. Jesse Marunde. Can Waiatoa put that 5th stone on that plinth? And no, he can't. He settles for 4 in a time of 22.03.
Well, Marunde just is on fire at the moment. He has to be one of the favourites for the final now, and Mariusz Pudzianowski was watching that. I wonder what he thought.
It's head-to-head. Tarmo Mitt is the only man that can knock Terry Hollands out of the top 2. That's the good news. The bad news for Terry is that Tarmo is a very good stone lifter, but Terry has his fate in his hands. It all comes down to this.
Take your positions.
Well, the Estonians made the good start, and Terry's just got to stay with him, get his technique going here. Remember, 20-point-something for Marunde, and Tarmo is absolutely flying, and this is putting some real pressure on the Englishman.
Well, Mitt might not be that well known to World's Strongest Man, but on the international scene, he's one of the best stone lifters in the world, and he's just proven exactly why. But for the big Englishman, he's just got to get this on.
He's got to get this on because his time for 4 was slower than Carl Wyatoa's. If Terry doesn't get this one, he's out. And I don't know if he knows that or not. If he puts this stone on, he's in. If he doesn't, he's out. Come on, Terry.
30 seconds to go.
Can you believe this? The pressure, the tension. Terry Hollands 1 stone from the final. And I don't like the body language here, Colin. He looks in real trouble.
Well, it's starting to turn into a little bit of panic. Time is running out now. Never before has Terry Hollands failed to lift a set of stones.
10 seconds. Time ticking away for Terry, and it's all over. Would you believe it? On the very last stone, Terry Hollands is beaten. He falls behind Carl Wyatoa by less than 2 seconds into 4th place, and that lets Tarmo Mitt through to the final. But you have to feel so sorry for this man.
Terry Hollands gave it absolutely everything there. Just ran out of petrol at the last second.
So Hollands 4th, Tarmo Mitt 2nd. Those 2 points have pushed him past Terry Hollands, who'll finish 3rd.
Well, great camaraderie between the strong men as ever, but that's no consolation for Terry Hollands. He knows he had a place in the final within his grasp, and he let it slip.
Terry, you must be disappointed. All you had to do was load the 5th stone, and you would have been headed to the finals.
Yeah, really disappointed. Disappointed I didn't go quicker to the 4 as well, because if I'd have been a second quicker to there, I'd be through as well, so never mind. It's been a great experience, learned a lot, so I'll be back next year stronger.
Bad luck to Terry Hollands, just a single point denying him a place in the final. Tarmo Mitt did well in that final event though, that was a really solid performance. But the question is, can Jesse Marunde be the first American for 2 decades to win?
Fantastic that you're through to the final. Do you think you can win this whole thing?
I'm definitely going to try. Everybody's going to try. And Mariusz is the man to beat. He's not intimidated by me at all, I guarantee it. So I'll have to put on a really good show to make that happen.
So that's the magnificent 10 who qualified for this year's Metrics World's Strongest Man competition. 4 from North America, 6 from Europe. Sadly though, none from China. So disappointment for China's first ever representative in this year's World's Strongest Man. But who knows, maybe in years to come, these guys will follow in his footsteps with a bit more success. We now know though who the 10 finalists in this year's competition are, but of course only one can be the winner. Who's that going to be? Find out next time. See you soon.
And you can see the big final very soon. In fact, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock here on 5. Brand new next tonight. Change your eating, change your life with the Diet Doctors.